Next round's on me. Woo-hoo!
Hey, Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpot's Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of today to get started.
He just got enough on that puck to send it wide of the post.
Parker Kelly scores! Oh my goodness! That should be the goal of the year! Parker Kelly!
Today, we are Wolf Jeans. We're still located on the corner of 184th Street and Stony Plain Road with the same ownership for over 2 decades. Our customers have trusted our family-owned, community-driven business, and for that, we are thankful. If you're looking for a truck or SUV, pop in and one of our seasoned professionals will get you a great deal, hassle-free. Come trust us
Just
at Wolf.
It's a nice! Putting on this offensive show.
It can make even the simplest things like reaching up, lifting a bag, brushing your teeth, or sleeping frustrating. Rotator cuff strains, impingement, arthritis, they're some of the most common issues we treat every day. I'm Grant Fedoruk, and at Leading Edge Physio, our team brings postgraduate training
Goal of the year! Parker Kelly!
to help you feel better. Because we never forget the most important part, the gratitude we feel for every patient who allows us the opportunity to care for them. Because life shouldn't hurt. When it does, leadingedgephysio.com.
Ron,
just got enough on that.
we say every shift's a gift. Cam Tate never got one. Cerebral palsy meant a unique path. Husband, dad, grandpa, and for half a century, one of hockey's finest chroniclers. Cam was a spectator in his own radiant life, and he can unlock such a life in you too. CamTateSpeaking.com. That's Cam Tate, T-A-I-T, speaking.com. Be ready, really ready, for your next shift.
The weather doesn't care about your shift or your schedule. Carhartt Rain Defender sweatshirts let you battle back against the ever-changing elements. Carhartt's durable, water-repellent technology lets light rain beat up and roll right off. Layer up and stay on the job longer without getting drenched. Get your Carhartt Rain Defender sweatshirts at all 3 of our Edmonton job site workwear locations.
Hey, brother, there's an endless road to rediscover. Hey, sister, know the water's sweet, but blood is thicker. Oh, if the sky...
The Jason Gregor Show. On Sports 1440.
He just got enough on that puck to send it wide of the post.
Parker Kelly scores! Oh my goodness! That could be the goal of the year! Parker Kelly!
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Trying to get out and run here. Topic running, receiving. Putting on this offensive show.
A tremendous Thursday afternoon. How are you? And welcome to the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, Twitch, wherever you're listening, wherever you're watching. Thanks for joining us. We always appreciate having you part of the show. You can text in 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. You can always email us, Gregor at sports1440.ca. We got lots to discuss on the show today. Of course, the Edmonton Oilers back at it. And my goodness, you play that well for 40 minutes and then just watch it completely disintegrate in the third period for a few specific reasons. We'll get to that. We're going to talk some NHL. We're going to talk Darryl Evans from LA. We got Speck. We got Jeff Patterson from Vancouver. Landon Ferraro will join us. Of course, David Owens from Sherbrooke Liquor. We'll get to your stat of the day. We got a few doozies for you. I think you'll like them today, coming up in the 4 o'clock hour. Of course, our show is always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the province. PlayAlberta.ca, and it is Thursday, the Daily Grand. $1,000 a day for the next 20 years. A lump sum of $7.3 million. Get your tickets at PlayAlberta.ca. Good luck. Nobody won the Lotto 649 last night, so that's up to 38 mil. Many of you were being like, oh, man, I can't wait to watch Oilers hockey again. You're all excited. And you know what? You probably were jacked 13 seconds in. By clockwise, that's the best start of the season for the Edmonton Oilers. Quickest goal to start a game this year. 13 seconds in. Nurse, Savoy, great pass up to Rosovic. Boom, perfect shots, 1-0. Then Nugent Hopkins, nifty little shot upstairs from in tight. It's 2-0. You're thinking, all right. But then the Oilers give up the 2-goal lead. You're like, man, I don't love that. But then they score 2 goals in the final 2 minutes of the second period. Zach Hyman on a nice deflection in front. Evan Bouchard scores. Guys leading the league in points by defensemen. Actually, 1 point behind Connor McDavid in points since the calendar turned to 2026. And you're like, all right, they're up 2 goals going into the third period. Should be pretty good. And then Tristan Jarry. I didn't like the first goal of the game. You've got a defenseman in more shooting from what we call the ditch. From the circles to the boards, that's the ditch. Usually you want to get players there. It's the less dangerous place on the ice. If they can shoot from there, you'll trust your goalie all day long. It's a non-screen shot that beats them from upstairs in the ditch, the top of the circle. I'm sorry. That's a terrible goal to give up. But you're like, okay, whatever. It happened in the first. They rebound. It's 4-2. All right. Then in the third period, the Seneca goal to tie the game at 5, did not like it. What about the screenshot from the point? Like, what? How can you not see that? Like, yeah, everybody has to deal with screens. I'm not even sure I love the rebound. You know, maybe I'm like, okay, kicked it out with his toe, rebound goal, maybe fine. But that's 3 stinkers. He allowed 3 goals on 6 shots in just over the first 6 minutes of the period. Now, Matt Savoy did score in between there, and that's gave Edmonton a lead again at 5-4. And then not even a minute later, it was 5-5. Like, Tristan Jarry has an .864 save percentage. And last night, I'm sorry, I'm not blaming that on team defense. Now, Tristan Jarry was out of the net when the game-winning goal went in, so we'll get to that in a second. But Tristan Jarry, you got to play better, flat out. He's made 11 starts and he has an .864 save percentage. It's not one game. It's every game. Yeah, he'll make a few good saves, but he is letting in some stinkers. And, like, I don't know. You know, if I make some saves, then I think our chances of winning are better. Well, yeah, I get it. Like, I love the simplicity of the quote. It almost made me chuckle somewhat, but it's not good enough at all. He had a 3-week break. Looks like there was no improvement over the 3-week break. None. So then Ingram comes in. He's all right. I have no issue on the game-winning goal because the game-winning goal shouldn't happen. You've got a veteran who's played 775 NHL games. He's in his 11th season. You're not under pressure. You're in the final minute and a half of the game. You're 12 feet inside your blue line. Well, maybe 15. I'm just guessing on the actual distance. And suddenly the puck's a grenade? Why? Like, Darnell Nurse, who didn't have a great, he's on for 4 goals against. Now I know some of them were pretty weak shots that your goalie would save, but still, it's on for too many goals against. Like, and oh, by the way, in the first game, after a 3-week break, and you're an associate captain, you're supposed to be an emotional leader, 0 hits. 0. So you're fighting the puck. You're getting scored on again. So usually it's, okay, I got to do something here. I got to be physical. I got to try. Nope. Not me. No. Just going to skate it out. And, if I make a bad pass, someone else's fault. Like, I have looked at the steady decline in Nurse's play over the last 18 months, and it's concerning. It's not like you're like, oh, okay, you know what, guys have a little bit of funk. They'll figure it out. No. They're showing really no signs of improvement. And you can't trade him before the deadline. Like, I'll be floored if that happens. But in the summer, that has to become Stan Bowman. You have the conversation. Sorry, but we'll try to facilitate a trade, but it's done. We'll put you on waivers, go to the minors. Teams have sent guys. Now he has a full no movement clause. Oh, I have to look at that. Yeah, he probably has a full no movement clause, so probably take that idea out. But sit him in the press box. Like, I'm sorry. At some point, you have to be accountable for your own play. It's not good enough. Not good enough at all. If that guy doesn't come out tonight and play with desperation and some level of control, there's a much deeper problem. Get in someone's face, do something, because right now you're not doing a lot. So at least try to do something. But it's, I don't know. I'm not sure it's salvageable, to be honest. At this stage, it's not like, okay, you know what, had a stretch. Hey, look at Matthias Ekholm. Came off an injury, had some tough 6 weeks. Look at him now. Fine. Lots of other guys have had funks. They dig their way out of it. I'm not, there's nothing. Like, I'm sorry. Not remotely good enough. Not remotely good enough. So we will, we'll see what happens. I don't know if the team doesn't have much trust. Like, for a coach to pull a goalie, I'm trying to think the last time a goalie got pulled with 13 minutes left in a game. Right, like, usually a pull happens early. You've given up multiple goals early in the game. You're thinking, hey, we got time. Like, it's a 5-5. It's a tie game. And you're so frustrated in your starting goalie that you have to pull him. I know people, oh, Gregor, where was this one? Show me the time Skinner did this. Just show me the time. He got pulled in the first period. Yep. It's happened lots. Lots of guys around the league. Getting pulled in a 5-5 game, that shows you right now how the coaching staff feels about him. Like, it's not ideal. Hey, Greggs, what do you think of Nugent Hopkins' goal? You know, it's a nice shot. Dostal would tell you he should make that save. Right? Because that's the only place Nugent Hopkins could go. So it is kind of a perfect shot. But, you know, the rebound goal for Savoy, the Hyman deflection, like, that's not a bad goal. Even on Bouchard, I don't really blame the goalie on that play. For Anaheim, like, what's the goalie supposed to do there? Right? Like, his numbers weren't great. The only saving grace for the Oilers is, like, you look at last night, Vegas goaltenders sub 800, LA's goaltender sub 800. Like, the Pacific Division last night was a prime example of why there's a lot of goals against in the Pacific Division. It was pretty ugly. Jari had an 800 save percentage. Out of the 4 starting goalies in the 2 late games, that was the second best. Dostal's was slightly better. Not much. But, and it, you know, goaltending last night, Jari for sure, but last night to me just reinforced why I believe the number one priority for the Oilers is a right shot second pair defenseman. The Wallman Nurse pairing's not working. And Ty Emerson, I really like Ty Emerson, but he's not a second pair defenseman. He's in my third pair. I have no problem. But Nurse and Wallman, it's not working. And Stan Bowman's got 8 days. You got to do something. Luckily, the Pacific Division isn't very good this year. And I know you're gonna hear a lot of complaining out of the East. Oh, look at this. Right now, magically, none of those people last year were talking about how, and the Pacific Division, make no mistake, they had 3 of the top 9 100-point teams in the NHL last year. They've had the representative in the Stanley Cup final the last 3 seasons. 3 years ago, there was 4 teams with 100 points in the Pacific Division. Don't tell me the Pacific Division is being bad every year. It's bad this year. But I didn't hear all the Eastern people whining. The Calgary Flames would have been 7th in the East last year. They didn't make the playoffs in the West. Oh, but I didn't hear that. That wasn't talked about much. Why? Because there's a lot of Eastern media and fans who it's like they don't understand or don't have a grasp on reality at times when it comes to divisionals and how it works. Right? They just don't. Like, what's the how many points for the wild card the last few years in the East? 91 points. Oh, yeah, but they'll tell. Oh, no, it's way better. Okay. But we'll see where it goes from here for the Edmonton Oilers, but you got to bounce back. I know you know what? They're going to hope and pray it was one game. Now, there were some things in last night's game that I liked. Number one, I know it's only one game, but Podkolzin and Frederick, I like them together. They played pretty well. Frederick, that might have been the best passing game he's had as an Oiler. That was a great pass to Podkolzin. Too bad he shot him right in the chest. And then Mangiapane in the third period, Frederick put him right in a perfect spot. Mangiapane misses the net again. God, that guy misses the net a lot, it seems, on good chances. Now, I get he's fighting it, but stop trying to make a perfect shot. I guarantee you it won't score if you miss the net. Just try hitting the net. It's just a thought. But I like that. The Oilers, Bouchard, another solid game. The other thing I noticed, their breakouts were a little bit more, seemed to be moving the puck quicker, a little bit more of a focus in the middle of the ice. And now I might be wrong, but I'm not sure if I saw that annoying. We're going to pass from the corner of our own zone out to the guy stationary at center, and he just redirects the puck in, which is basically a 200-foot giveaway. I hate that play. Now, if your line's tired, different story. Got to get off the ice. That's different. But I felt the Oilers relied on that a lot. I didn't see it last night. So hopefully that's a new wrinkle. They're like, hey, you know what? We're not doing that anymore. Sign me up. That would be good. But we'll see. We got a lot of texts. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. Hey, guys, this is the worst goaltending group the Oilers have had. The McDavid era is sad. Defense is brutal as well. From RL. Hey, guys, I agree. Nurse doesn't improve pretty dramatically and quickly. He has to go to the press box. He's not improved even 1% the last few seasons. Well, I would argue he's regressed. A few years ago, Darnell Nurse was actually quite good. A lot of the numbers suggested it. But last year and this year, sorry, not great. Hey, guys, Nurse is a McDavid friend. He'll never leave. I'm not sure I agree with that one. I don't think that's the case. Do I think that those guys think Nurse is better than he is? Yes. But there will come a time. And eventually there's a reality check and you're like, hey, wait a second. Can't happen. Now, let's be real here. It would be a monumental trade. Just look at the cap hit. And he has a no movement clause. He's got 4 years remaining after this. 4 years. Now, he has a full no movement clause, but eventually that does change to a no trade clause in the final 3 years of the deal. But this coming summer, it's still a full no movement clause. Now, guys with full no move clauses have been moved before. And if it continues on this stretch, you know what? It wouldn't be great. I know, people are, what would a buyout look like? There's really not much benefit of a buyout. If you bought out Nurse in the summer, his cap hit, you'd save basically $1.5 million. And then the last 3 years, Or the next 3 years, you'd save 733, like not even league minimum. And then there'd be 4 years at 466,000 extra dead space. So yeah, it's not happening. All right, it's virtually buyout proof at this stage. So not happening. So you'd have to look, and he has to agree to it. You have to find a team that would be interested. It would be hard. Now, the one team, because they have a player of their own that is not going the way they want. Now, he doesn't have the term, but would a Nurse Morgan Riley trade make any sense for either organization? I want Nurse as an Ontario guy. Maybe a change of scenery. You know, I doubt it, but just saying it would be like something's got to give here. He's got to play better. Like, I'm not expecting him to be great. That's pretty obvious, but like just some of the plays and the decision making, like at least at 6'4" and 220, play with some aggression. Make it hard for the opposition to be in front of your net. That's probably the one part that gets me. But and guys, it seems ever since Nurse beat up Polak, he's changed. Well, I got to go back. What year was that? I thought he still had a few good years after that, but he doesn't seem to have the same aggression in his game that he used to. To me, I honestly think ever since that penalty and he got suspended against Vegas in the playoffs, that's the one. I'm not sure I've seen him be overly aggressive since then. And like, it was a 1-game suspension. You can disagree with it, and that's fair. And I didn't love the suspension either. But that should not be the reason that suddenly you're like, well, you know what? Not going to do it. Because you don't see it very often from him. And I'm not even talking fighting. Fighting's whatever. You know, guys fight 5-6 times a year now. Except, you know, there's the odd guy maybe gets a 10, 12. Right? Nurse is never a regular fighter. I don't need to be a regular fighter. But when's the last time you saw him initiate a scrum? Like really initiate, really intimidate the opposition in front of the net. Why can't that happen? I think it's an honest question. Why can't it happen? So when they get back, I'm going to ask him, like, is there something against it? Like, why not? Can you guys just play grittier? Can you make life harder for the opposition in front of the net? Got to start somewhere, right? You can't fix everything at once. So just say, okay, where's an area we can have a small incremental improvement? Okay, let's work there. Now we got that. Now let's move to something else. So the interesting thing about the orders tonight, and no word yet, but Matthias Janmark left the game last night, didn't play in the second and third period. Now, here's the weird thing about, so Janmark, let's say it's a serious injury. And if they wanted, they could put him on LTIR, but then they can't recall Josh Szymanski because Josh Szymanski's cap it when a team is in LTIR is $1.462 million. So they don't have the room because guess what? 1.45 is Janmark. Minus the, what do they got? $2,000 in cap space right now. So he's slightly below that. So the only really way you could get Josh Szymanski on is you'd have to, waive Mangiapane first, send him down, then get Szymanski on the roster. Then, because if you're not an LTIR, then he's only a $975,000 cap hit, right? You have him on the roster. Then you could put Janmark on LTIR, and then you could recall Mangiapane, and it would work, and you'd have your cap hit would work. It's a weird thing, but you could do that. That's the way to make the money work. Now, you obviously can't do that now because they're playing tonight and they don't have the time because he needs to, he's got to clear waivers, all those sorts of things. And there is the game day waiver thing that I know you can put a guy on, right? So the orders, they could recall someone else, but here's the fun little catch. Whoever it is will tonight, if they're recalled, because, whether it's Alex Regula comes back of his conditioning sin, he's already on the roster. Or if they move Janmark to LTR, then they could call up somebody like Robbie Arventi or James Hamlin. And those guys are, they'd fit under the cap, no problem. But then they'd be playing their third game in 3 nights because they played Tuesday and Wednesday in Colorado. Now, the AHL, there's still some teams that play 3 games in 3 days still. It's rare, but it happens. So the guys are used to it. And hey, you're coming up to the NHL, you'd figure it out, you'd be fine. You're not going to play big minutes, so you could do it. But we'll see. I haven't seen a recall yet, so maybe Janmark's fine. Maybe it was just something that precautionary and they kept him out, but haven't seen anything. We'll find out from the head coach when he speaks a little bit later on today. So coming up on the show, Landon Ferraro, David Owens, Cosentino, and more. It's a Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Need a new ride for road trips, errands, or just life on the go? Go Auto offers a massive selection with over 15,000 new and used vehicles to choose from. With over 70 locations across Western Canada, finding your next ride has never been easier. Whether it's a roomy SUV for the family, a sleek car for the open road, or a rugged truck for your weekend adventures, you'll find it here at a price you'll love. Explore thousands of vehicles today at goauto.ca.
The future of female hockey is here. It's season 2 of the Female Super League, the first ever female-only independent hockey division in Western Canada, with teams from British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba. Featuring 16U, 14U, and 12U divisions, the FSL brings showcase weekends packed with thrilling games, and our 14U and 16U have been pioneering the advanced body-checking rule, empowering young players. The Female Super League, where the best in female hockey takes center ice. Details at femalesuperleague.com.
It's the iconic Jasper Patty Party. That's on the rocks. We're turning Jasper Avenue green.
Your 5-day St. Patty's Day party kicks off Friday at OTR.
With live entertainment every day.
Including the Feelin' Lucky burlesque show on Sunday.
Plus pipers, Irish dancers, and doors open at 9 a.m. on the 17th.
We got more green beer than Marco has fancy shirts. And trust me, that's a lot.
Lucky the Leprechaun will be there.
Will you?
It's the iconic Jasper Patty Party. That's on the rocks. Next round's on me. Woohoo!
At Hughes, it's all about getting in and out quick and clean. No cash, no problem. With Hughes' new tap and wash system, all you need is your debit or credit card to get your vehicle sparkling clean.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com. McValue meals are here. Get the McD's you love for $5 plus tax every day. With your choice of a McDouble, junior chicken, or chicken snack wrap with small fries and small fountain drink. All for just $5 plus taxes. Canadian restaurants. Product availability varies. Prices exclude delivery.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquessential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade. Safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan. Water you love.
Made for some rough roads, but it means trails are now packed and ready for action. Don't miss out on riding adventures this winter with a Ski-Doo from Riverside Honda and Ski-Doo. Work or play with new 2026 Generation 5 models with class-leading design and power. And right now, take advantage of 5.99% financing OAC. Only at Riverside Honda and Ski-Doo. 15 Inglewood Drive in St. Albert. And always at riversidehonda.com. Shop local, shop Canadian.
1 in 3 adults don't get enough sleep. The Break is here to help with deals on your entire bedroom. Save up to 50% off clearance mattresses, 50% off beds when you buy any 3 matching pieces. Buy one, get one half price on ceiling memory foam pillows, and save $100 off any adjustable power base when you buy a mattress over $9.99. Plus, check out other incredible savings in every department. Some exclusions apply. Check out The Brick in South Common, West Ed Mall, North Side.
Residential. When you need metal and you want it cut or bent fast, this is the place. Metal Supermarkets. Huge inventory, amazing service, and free parking. Free. That's a pretty big deal when you're saving up for something special. Yep, only 3 more payments and this bad boy's mine. And the 1, and the 2, and Metal Supermarkets, the local convenience stores for... And maybe a little polka too. Southside, West End, metalsupermarkets.com.
Ron McLean here. In hockey, we say every shift's a gift. Cam Tate never got one. Cerebral palsy meant a unique path. Husband, dad, grandpa, and for half a century, one of hockey's finest chroniclers. Cam was a spectator in his own radiant life, and he can unlock such a life in you too. CamTateSpeaking.com. It's Cam Tate, Tait, speaking.com. Be ready, really ready for your next shift.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all of your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.227, welcome back. It is game day, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. The Gregor Show, as always, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, where you can check out odds boosts all the time for the Gregor Show and try out Sports Casino Live. You learn more. PlayAlberta.ca. The Oilers are in Los Angeles tonight. Kings gave up 6 last night. The Oilers gave up 6 last night. Oilers lose 6-5, Kings lose 6-4. What do they have in store tonight? I'm surprised, the Kings, they don't score very much. But with Artemi Panarin, he had 2 points in his Kings debut last night. He'll definitely give him a shot in the arm. Darcy Kemper didn't play because the Kings, they were playing back-to-back, and I think they looked at the Edmonton game as maybe the more important game, with Edmonton being closer in the standings. And I think they probably thought that, hey, Vegas without 5 of their Olympians might be the better chance to win with our backup. Didn't happen. So now both teams a little bit desperate tonight. And make no mistake, the Kings will be desperate. They're chasing the Oilers and Seattle and Anaheim. This is a big game for Edmonton. You can give yourself a 6-point cushion on the 9th place Kings if you get a win tonight. Lose, and they're 2 back, and they got 2 games in hand. So big game. So we get to our big guest of the day, brought to you by Spruce Grove Saints. Exciting BCHL action this weekend down at the Thompson Family Arena. Get your tickets, sgsaints.ca. Landon Ferraro joins us once again, former NHLer, pre- and post-game host here on Sports 1440. And Landon, how do you salvage the play of Darnell Nurse right now? Where would you start?
That's a good question, and I feel like if I fully had that answer, I'd have a lot cooler job right now coaching a team. It's, for him, I feel like it's always been when he's simplified everything and just played like a hard game, that's when his best has come out. But I feel like he's been trying to do that, and it doesn't quite get there. There's still, on the, the Seneca goal, just backing in so far and allowing all of that to be, the rush to come in instead of it closing off, just over the blue line and forcing a shot from farther or a dump in. You allow him to get all the way to the tops of the circles and then a toe drag in. Not that Jari shouldn't have saved that. That's a different conversation, but the shot shouldn't have been there in the first place. So I think it's a situation now where it's a bit of overthinking. For me, I want him, just be aggressive. Not in taking chances and things like that, but close hard, finish aggressive. The more physical he becomes, it is like the rest of his game. It really kind of sharpens him up a little bit more. So lean into the physicality for the next little bit and see if that can help kind of right the ship a bit. Hello?
Hey, Landon, sorry, we're having some issues with our StreamYard, so I just have to go up the phone if that's okay.
Yeah, no worries.
All right, thanks a lot.
Go.
Going on that one goal? Is everyone looking that direction? You know what I mean? Like, there's so much that can go into it. Not giving him an excuse, but at the same time, I still think Nurse can be a physical, tough player to play against. That, yeah, he might make some mistakes from time to time, but he also has played some really big, hard minutes for this team.
Yeah, he has, but my concern is they're just, his game slowly, it's not even leveling off. It's not like it's getting better at all. Like, I'm like, hey, if you stay what he was, and hey, he's a second pair defenseman, he's a second pair D-man, but it's just like, yeah, he skates well and all those sorts of things. And I don't think it's a lack of effort. But the thing that bothers me the most, Landon, is in front of the Oilers net might be the easiest place for opposing players to go. And that should be the one area where Darnell Nurse should make life tougher for the opposition.
I totally agree. And that should be his strong suit. And that's where I'm talking about, like, he needs to focus on just the physicality. Don't worry about joining the rush right now. Don't worry about trying to make the perfect play. Make the first option you see that's open. Like, if there's, he's going back for a forecheck, he picks it up, he kind of turns up ice, and he sees right away that there's someone coming low and slow. The centerman's coming down, but he sees there's a longer stretch pass. Don't worry about the stretch. Make the first play you see and just move to the next one. And anytime someone gets in front of the net or into the corners behind the net, things like that, like, be physical, be hard. Make the guys really have to make a decision if they want to go to the front of the net. Like, you look at multiple goals last night, and I mean, you can look at almost every game that the Oilers play. Like, there happens to be at least one goal that comes from pretty much directly in front of the net with multiple guys, whether it's one or two around, but no one's got a stick. No one's picking anyone up. They're just in the middle, right? Like that game-winning goal last night. I know that's Wallman, but Wallman and Draisaitl are standing there. No one has Gauthier on the back door. Like, there has to be some communication there.
Oh God, 100%. Now, like the Cutter Gauthier one, if you watch that replay, Nurse, after his turnover, does make the right play, and he follows Carlson around and actually gets a stick on it. Carlson doesn't get a shot away. He's not dangerous, right? At that point, Cutter Gauthier is not his guy, right? At all. He's following, he's on the other side of the net. He had to follow his guy right around the net, which was the right play. That was the other guys on the ice that didn't pick up Gauthier on the back door. Like that's like Nurse's big mistake was the unforced error inside the blue line, which I don't understand, how that happened because it happens too frequently for me. But the play to leave Gauthier, to me, that's not Nurse.
No, it's not. But I was just using that as an example of as much as, yes, Nurse needs to be better in front of the net. Like, I think that's really a defense, like a Edmonton decor issue, right? Like you played it out perfectly. Like he chased him around, and not only did he not let him get a shot, but like he made him bobble the puck too. So it bought even more time for Draisaitl and Wallman standing in front of the net to shoulder check and see Gauthier standing there, and it doesn't happen. And instead of just, either Wallman slides over or Draisaitl slides to the back door, you just stand there and all of a sudden there is no issue at all.
Yeah, it's very fair. We move ahead to what'd you make of Podkolzin and Frederick last night?
I'll be honest, like I did the Vancouver game. I watched as much as I could this morning. So from what I did see, like it's in a sense what, when Frederick was brought here, thinking about him with Podkolzin, being a force on a forecheck and playing a heavier game, like that's what I think the Oilers need on a third line. As much as Podkolzin has been, has done great with Draisaitl, I think he's outgrown that role in a sense where his game's elevated to a point where I want to see him on that third line where he can have a bit more prominent role with the puck. And if Frederick playing with him, if that can help kind of just get that forechecking mindset, you don't have to make big plays. Like we're going to be a heavy line that grinds down low. Like that's a good look for a third line in Edmonton.
Oh God. Hey, I said it. I still would, in an ideal world, I think I'd like Szymanski there because he's a little bit quicker than Adam Henrique. But right now they don't have any of the cap space to do something like that. So maybe in a week's time, they got to move around. But the Oilers, they have a week. Well, they being Stan Bowman to make a move. What would I think a second pair right shot defenseman, priority number one. The Nurse Wallman pair just isn't working. So that would be my priority. Do you have another priority you think that they need to look at?
Well, I remember being on here last week and, us talking about this and you were saying the same thing, right? Like you're set on this second D-man. And for me, like I was talking, I'd still like to see that forward be, the first thing to go after, right? Like a bit of help up front still so that it's not always just the big two up there. But I think I've gone a bit more to your side. Just Edmonton's going to be able to score. They need to be able to defend. And if you can bring someone in that's going to help eat some minutes, doesn't have to it doesn't have to be anyone that comes in and you're like, oh, he's going to help produce some offense. Like, no, like someone that's going to come in, eat pucks, play heavy minutes. Like that's all, in my eyes, that's what they need right now. They need a steady, veteran big piece back there to help kind of muscle up in front of the net, but also just bring some stability to this, like you said, to that second pair.
Well, we'll see how the Oilers bounce. The thing is, for like 40 minutes, I really liked their game. And then, man, the wheels fell off. And Tristan Jarry, oh my goodness, you got to make a save. Like, hey, if Connor Ingram has a good game today, Connor Ingram's playing in San Jose. I don't even think it's a question. Like when your goalie gets pulled in a 5-5 game with 13, you don't want to put your backup goalie in, where he's been sitting there for that long. But that tells me actions always speak louder than words. And hey, Knobloch said it afterwards. Hey, I wasn't happy with the goaltending. But it's rare to see a goalie pulled that late in a tie game.
Yeah, the coach does not want to do that, right? Like, clearly Knobloch probably wanted to do it a goal or two before that, even, right? Like, in his eyes, and he's like, no, I'm going to let him ride this out. I can't pull him early, and it gets to the point where he lets that squeaker through his legs. And if like Edmonton doesn't have opportunity to just throw points away right now, right? Like you have to go for 2 points every night. So as much as you don't want to do that to your goaltender, well, realistically, you don't want to do it to both of them for different reasons coming in that late. Like it needs to be done. And, you know, as we're talking about, you know, trades and, you know, what can help, like looking at the goaltending right now, you're not getting a goaltender. So yes, like you need to shore up defensively. You're hoping obviously that Jari's going to find his game and get rolling that way. But, you know, for how you described, you know, I was happy with 40 minutes and then, you know, the goaltending, all this, like it's the same conversation we've basically been having for a season and a half here, right? Like to me, the Edmonton Oilers, it's different once playoffs start because that team is dialed in and they go, right? Like they've clearly proven that, but regular season, like to me, they do as well as they decide they're going to do, because when they play and commit to being good defensively and playing the right way, that the Oilers look like a well-oiled machine, they win more games than not. And they're a really good team, but when they take their foot off the gas just that little bit, let a run and gun kind of style go, they don't have the team defense or the goaltending to get into a run and gun game like that. Like Anaheim is a really good, young, skilled team. You should be able to bury them with the first goal or 2-goal lead and then definitely the second one. But if you let it open up, like you're giving them all of their skill to get back into that game. Like to me, it's them choosing if they're going to play like a true Oiler game or they're going to just let it kind of be river hockey a bit.
Yeah. Landon, good stuff, buddy. We'll chat with you again on Thursday. Have yourself a great day.
Yeah, have a good one.
There you go. That's Landon Ferraro from TSN. Oh, sorry, not TSN, from Sports 1440. He's on Sportsnet in Vancouver. I always think Ray was TSN, but he's not even at TSN anymore. ESPN for Ray Ferraro. We got a lot of texts coming in. Some really good questions on the text line. We'll get to those. We got Thursday and more. It's a Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpots Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense.
Legacy Heating and Cooling offers no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. So when you wake up to no heat, call Legacy. Call Legacy. If you need it immediately with no overtime rates. If you need it immediately and want to combo it with AC. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. No payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. It could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Hello. You're never going to believe this. Booster Juice called your name today. You can get a free smoothie or acai bowl.
No way. I'm heading there now.
Oh my gosh, you and my brother have the same name. Okay, I'm calling him next. I'm hanging up.
Booster Juice Names of the Day is back. 2 names are selected each day, and if your name matches, you can get a free smoothie or an acai bowl. Watch for your name on the Booster Rewards app and social media. Must be an app member to qualify. Booster Juice. Canadian born. Blending since 1999.
Something strange comes to Rogers Place.
Family Fun Sunday. Your Edmonton Oil Kings look to capture a win from the Swift Current Broncos in the annual Ghostbusters game.
Who you gonna call?
Meet Ghostbusters characters on the concourse during the game as members of the Alberta Ghostbusters take over. Plus, enjoy the Kids Fun Zone with face painting and bouncy castles.
Then score Calmont Kids food combos for $10 or less. The value is Stay Puft Marshmallow Man sized. The Oil Kings Ghostbusters game this Sunday at 4.
Great seats at Rogers Place start at only $20 at oilkings.ca.
The job won't wait. Why should you? At AWS Welding Supplies and Repairs, conveniently located in Nisku, we've got everything you need to get it done. From product sales to servicing and calibrating machines, we're your one-stop shop. We're a proud, locally owned and operated business, committed to serving our community with a proven track record of customer service. Don't let a broken tool slow you down. We offer fast repairs and free same-day delivery of in-stock items to Leduc, Nisku, and South Edmonton. AWS Welding. We make it happen.
Do you sit around at work listening to sports radio all day? That's right, my friend. There's no shame in it. It's the good life. And we're not here to snitch. Say, if your company advertised on Sports 1440, you could be the one listening for your company's ad every day. Now you've got an excuse to listen to Sports 1440 all day. It's part of the job. Sounds like someone's getting a promotion. Email Gregor at sports1440.ca and let's get to work for you.
Exciting news from St. Albert Dodge. The all-new 2026 Jeep Gladiator Sport packages have arrived. They have a great selection and a bunch of colors to choose from. And if you've checked out the Sport, you know it comes in some fun colors. Rugged capability, practical off-road features, and you can get behind the wheel for as low as $49,900. That's right. Put yourself in a brand new Jeep Gladiator Sport for less than $50,000. What more can you ask for? Time to head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Salvi Group is celebrating 50 years of building homes and communities, and we want to share the celebration with you. For a limited time during our 50/50 event, you'll enjoy 50% off select packages. That's special savings, select upgrades, and added value, all designed just for you. Build new or move in sooner at Hillshire. There's never been a better time to call Hillshire home. Celebrate with Salvi Group and enjoy 50 years, 50% off. Visit Hillshire today. Salvi Group, 50 years of craftsmanship, quality, and commitment.
Carnivorous habits, made in nearly 70 days. Losing weight without speed, eating sunflower seeds.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Jap Machinery. Jap is digging deep on their 50-year history of supporting Alberta's construction industry with their line of special edition blackout excavators. Visit japmachinery.com for all the details.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by playalberta.ca.
Boom. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Gregor Show, always brought to you by playalberta.ca. Alberta's only regulated online gambling website where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the province. Playalberta.ca. Hot in studio today, man. Holy cow. Hot or cold. And today it is hot. It's almost tarps off hot, but almost. Oilers are taking on the Kings tonight. We do know Connor Ingram is starting in goal. Nothing yet on the status of Matthias Janmark. Haven't seen any player recall yet. So maybe they'll go 11-6. Maybe Janmark can play. We'll see. I don't. They go 11-4. It's not the end of the world. I don't think for one game, but probably not ideal. Shows where they are in the cap world. Anyway, let's get to you know what? Fitting today. Because Oilers fans, when the puck enters the defensive zone right now, you might need one of these. Thirsty Thursday brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor. Beer, cocktails, wine, non-alcoholic. They got it all. Check it out. Best selection in the city. 2 locations. Southeast on 50th Street, 92nd Ave, or the OG location on St. Albert Trail and 118th Avenue. Our good buddy, Steve Zan, joins us once again. Steve, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, Jason. How you doing?
Oh, I'm you know what?
It's a little toasty in here today.
It is really toasty in here. You're wearing a long sleeve shirt.
I know,
had to take mine
yeah,
off. I was dying.
Yeah, totally.
Well, it's a good thing you brought in some beers. Now, this is, today we're kind of going in pairs, which is, the Oilers could use, some improvements in some of their pairs too, and specifically defense. So this is something I'll almost be saying. When the opposition gets in the defensive zone, you might want to take a sip of these to keep you calm.
Exactly. Yeah, we're doing a little experiment today. I thought this would be fun. So basically the theme for today, We got 3 different breweries, 2 beers from each, and similar styles, but the biggest difference between them is a low ABV and a high ABV. So something that's low in alcohol and something that's high in alcohol, but in a similar style. So I thought we would taste through them and see if we could kind of pick out, compare and contrast, see which ones we like the best. I just think right now we talked a lot about non-alcohol beers.
Yeah.
That's been a huge trend in craft beer for a couple years now. Will continue to be. What I think is going to happen, especially this spring and summer, we're going to see so many beers come out that aren't no alcohol but are low alcohol.
Okay.
So I think that's going to be a trend to watch out for. So I thought we can, kind of see if we could spot the difference between the lower ABV and the higher ABV beers. So should we dive into the first?
Yeah, let's go with the Einger.
Einger. So probably my favorite German brewery, just outside of Munich in the village of Einger. And so it's 2 different wheat ales. So the first one, the Brauweiss, is a classic German Hefeweizen.
Okay.
So with this one, it is a lighter style beer, but the thing with the Hefeweizens in the German style, they use a very specific type of yeast. So I really want you to let it swirl it around in the glass and really give it a good smell, because it's very indicative of what the style is. And you should pick up on different spices, different fruits to it. It's often described as banana, so like ripe banana and cloves. So it's really light, but it's got this subtle complexity to it. So it's nice and refreshing, but something like with a little more character than, say, like a pale lager or something like that. So that's the lighter style version, the Brauweiss. And then moving on, so that one is 5.1%. And then the next beer in the pair, we're jumping up to 7.1%. And this is a style called a Weizenbock. So whenever you see the word Bock in a German style beer, it's always sort of a stronger version of what that base beer style is. So we got a Weizenbock, which is a strong wheat ale. So that one you could see already off the bat, it's a little bit darker. It's got kind of a pale amber color as compared to that, golden color of the classic Hefeweizen. But I think right away you get, especially off the nose, you get a lot more sweetness to it.
Yes.
A lot more rounded. You get that same.
I really like the Weizenbock better,
way
better.
Mm-hmm. And that's
way more flavorful.
Yeah, that's what I want to see. If there's any of these, because a lot of people, and I've got to do some beer judging competitions and different things too, where you taste beers blind. And I've found that the higher alcohol beers tend to get judged a lot better. They usually receive a higher score.
Really?
Yeah. And it's interesting because a lot of our beer judges, after we see the results, we always give the stronger ones a higher score. But usually when we're grabbing something out of our fridge, it tends to be a little lower alcohol style one. So I think each sort of style has its place, but trying them side by side really tells you the difference.
Yeah.
So I agree too. I love a Weizenbock. This one's more like it tastes like banana bread to me, honestly. Like it's got those ripe banana yeast esters, a little bit of that spice to it.
Yeah, your pal's a little bit more refined than mine.
It's just got that vibe to it. Yeah. Okay, so that's our first sort of traditional pair. Now we're going to our second pair, which is also very traditional styles. We're going over to Belgium now.
Oh, love Belgian beer, buddy. And hey,
buddy.
Like Chimay Red was my favorite beer for a long, long time.
Yeah, I know you're a big fan of the Chimay beers, so I thought this would be a good little pairing. So Chimay, they are one of the few authentic Trappist ales in the world. So that
What's
means
a Trappist?
So a Trappist ale, it's brewed in monasteries by monks.
Really?
Who have been, they've been brewing it for centuries. It's not sort of a money-making business for them. They just brew the beer to sustain their way of life and to give to charity. But they just have so many centuries behind them of brewing tradition that they are true masters of beer in all their traditional styles. But the unique one here, the Chimay Gold, so this one's just 4.8%. When most people think about Belgian beer, it's usually the higher alcohol 8 plus, like all the way up to 12%. But this gold beer it's a style called a Patters beer, or you could call it a table beer. And this is an extremely rare style, especially for authentic Trappist breweries, to get outside of the monastery. So traditionally, this type of style, the Patters beer, was just brewed by the monks to be consumed by them in the monastery and just their special guests. It was never released to the public. It's just sort of for their own private consumption. probably because they don't want to get, in their workday get plastered drinking an 8 or 9% beer. They want something a little lighter when they're having their lunch. But yeah, so this one, it was first released to the public in 2013. So and it's been, not widely available since then, but it's come out in limited batches, and it's just a prime example of having a low ABV beer that's, below 5%, but still tons of complexity to it. So same thing, you get a lot of yeast esters to this one. So you get more of a floral note, almost a little citrus, a little bit of spice to it, but it's a really complex, light, easy drinking beer that's still really interesting. And then you compare that to the second beer in the pairing, the Chimay White, which is an absolute classic. So this is a Belgian triple style. So very traditional style, developed over years and years, centuries in Benedictine abbeys brewing tradition. So this is, a nice golden color, but it's just so aromatic. It's just bursting with those hoppy aromas, with the yeast spicy esters. And it's fantastic. It almost has like a champagne like effervescence to it. It's super bubbly. It's got a great texture to it. But you could really see the difference. Both are super dry too. Some of the higher alcohol beers can be a touch sweet, but the thing that the Belgians do masterfully is make a high alcohol beer that's still dry and even like a little bit quenching and refreshing. So yeah, did you have a preference in one of those ones? That's the Chimay White right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think now it's funny because I like darker beers, but I find both the darker ones have more flavor.
The darker, the stronger ones. Yeah, and they use a little bit more.
Now, darker isn't always stronger, but in this case, I know it is.
Yeah, exactly. And
but do stronger beers historically have more flavor?
Historically, yeah, because it's a lot of that flavor comes from the type of malts they use, and that's where the color comes from too. So when you see a darker beer, it's either roasted a little longer or they use a specific type of malt that just gives a lot more flavor. When it's a pale style, they use sort of like lightly kilned malt, so it just gives it
is that burnt? You like
kiln? Yeah, exactly. So they kiln or heat up the malt at different temperatures, and that's what gives beer its color. So when it's like a black one, that's a very heavily roasted, so high temperatures. When it's a lighter one, you get more of kind of like a biscuity.
And is there any truth to lagers or ales that one they ferment from the bottom and top? Is that true?
Yeah, the biggest difference between an ale and lager is the yeast variety. So ale yeast ferments at the top of the brew kettle, whereas lager ferments at the bottom. And the biggest thing too is the temperature. So ales ferment at a warmer temperature and give more of those yeast esters to it. That's why we get a lot of aromas off these first two, because they're both ales. Whereas a lager ferments at a cooler temperature, it's a lot cleaner. So you taste more of the base ingredients rather than the yeast esters. So that's kind of the main difference there.
Okay. And then lastly, what do we got here?
Fieldhouse. So this is one of my favorite Canadian breweries. They are so prolific. If you go through our beer cooler, you're going to see so many different Fieldhouse beers.
Citrusy, the first one.
Yeah, big time. So we're getting into more modern beer styles now. So we got two different IPAs. So this one is the Nelson Sauvin Mango Mini Hazy IPA. So 3.5%. And you can see right away on the color on that.
Very light.
That's just super light. That looks very much like a lot of non-alcohol IPAs to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, 3.5%. It's
like a slight haze to it.
A slight haze. Yeah. That's so they use wheat and certain type of yeast varieties to give that hazy appearance to it. But for me, I think this is where we're going to see like the surge of low alcohol beers is going to be in the IPA style.
Okay.
Because I think it's very conducive, because you could load it with hops and you get that really nice flavor, but
it's not as bitter.
It's not as bitter. Yeah. Anytime you see, if you like IPAs, but you don't want something super bitter, like look for the hazy IPAs, look for the New England style IPAs. You might want to steer clear of the West Coast IPAs, because those
more
will
bitter.
rip the roof of your mouth.
Yeah. I would say the Nelson Sauvin, the orange can here, the Mango Mini Hazy. I like that one better.
Yeah, and it's so interesting. They don't put any fruit or anything in it, despite their mango being on the label. It's all this. They add it's all the types of hops they use, but they also use terpenes, which is it's these aromatic compounds that they get from plant material. So often with hops is where you get the terpenes, but also in cannabis. So a lot of breweries are experimenting with these terpenes that you get from the cannabis leaf and infusing it into the beer. So there's no THC anything like that.
Has that made its way into the beer world yet?
Those do exist. There's a lot of government regulations that we aren't able to sell something infused with THC at a liquor store in Alberta, but you can find things like that at cannabis stores. So that is kind of an up and coming part of the industry for sure. And then you compare that mini one with this super tall, hazy triple IPA. So this is the biggest jump in ABV. We started with 3.5%, and now we're at a 10% hazy triple IPA. So this one's going to have a lot more body to it. You get the perception of sweetness, and it's interesting when people see a big double or triple IPA. They understandably think it's going to be a lot more bitter than a lighter IPA or just a single IPA, but in reality, your perception of the bitterness is actually a little lower. They tend to come across a little sweeter and a little juicier to it too. So it's you see quite the contrast there between.
I definitely like the mango mini there.
Oh, you like the mango? Okay,
I like the mango mini.
Okay, so that's the first one where it's the lighter beer style you like. So that's interesting. But you can really see how much the ABV affects the final product, and it's all about preference. It's all about context too. Sometimes 2 p.m. patio beer, obviously you're going to want the lighter style, but maybe when the sun goes down a little bit, you want a higher ABV beer with a little more complexity to it. So there's something for everybody. If you are looking for more low alcohol beers, I think we're going to start to see that a lot more this year. I think that's going to be the defining trend of 2026, and I'm here for it. Sure.
Well, we look forward to that, buddy.
Yeah.
Did you got any beer that can solve defensive woes?
Oh man, I wish.
Anything that makes you make a few more saves?
I wish, man. Yeah.
Somebody should just come out with a goaltending beer. Oh, Oiler fans would be all over that.
Totally. Yeah. Edmonton breweries, take note.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Steve, great stuff, buddy. We will chat with you next Thursday.
Yeah. Thanks, Jason.
There we go. Let's get to the Con Man Sports 1440 update brought to you by brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Home to no payments, no interest for 1 year on your furnace. Stay warm all winter. LegacyHeating.ca.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
The Edmonton Oilers back in action tonight, taking on the Kings. Puck drop again. 8:30 pregame coverage here with Andrew Walker. Gets going at 7. Elsewhere, the Sharks taking on the Flames. Avs up against the Wild. The Kraken taking on the Blues. Lightning and the Hurricanes. Penguins host the Devils. Leafs up against the Panthers. Sens and Wings. And the Bruins taking on the Columbus Blue Jackets. In the association, get going at 5 with the Pacers hosting the Hornets. Heat in Philly. Bulls taking on the Trailblazers. Mavs up against the Kings. Lakers take on the Suns. Jazz host the Pelicans. And the Timberwolves in LA for a meeting with the Clippers. PWHL returns to action. Montreal in New York at 5. At 7 o'clock, you got AJ, Kodiak's interim Heller. And from the NFL, the Colts have given quarterback Anthony Richardson Sr. permission to seek a trade. The former 4th overall pick has 1 year left on his rookie contract unless his 5th-year option is picked up. And earlier today, Jets and Titans making a deal with New York, sending pass rusher Jermaine Johnson to Tennessee for defensive tackle DeAndre Sweat. The deal will not be official until March 11th at the start of the new league year. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll talk some NHL with Sam Cosentino of Sportsnet and hear another edition of the Oil Report. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Your furnace is dead. It's time to replace it before winter crushes you. Legacy Heating and Cooling is practically there already. Yeah, we're working in your basement. Doing a replacement. The work is so furnacey, building your legacy. With no payments and no interest for 1 year, you gotta call Legacy. Replacing your dying furnace before it's too late, that's how you build your legacy. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
A pizza from Papa John's is already pretty great, but you know what's even better? 2 pizzas from Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium 1-topping pizza for only $6 when you order any large specialty pizza at regular menu price. whether you're feeding your family, your team, or yourself. Get your next meal from your locally owned and operated Papa John's with a $6 one-top medium when you order any large specialty at regular menu price. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Need a new ride for road trips, errands, or just life on the go? Go Auto offers a massive selection with over 15,000 new and used vehicles to choose from. With over 70 locations across Western Canada, finding your next ride has never been easier. Whether it's a roomy SUV for the family, a sleek car for the open road, or a rugged truck for your weekend adventures, you'll find it here at a price. Explore thousands of vehicles today at
Thursday afternoon. How are you?
Whether you're at home, in the car, or on the move, you're never more than a tap away from Sports 1440. Download the radio player or iHeart app today.
1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook,
access anytime to Edmonton's only
7. Welcome back. It is game day.
1440.
And welcome back. Super League is proud to launch its 9th season, delivering independent, borderless hockey. This year, over 125 teams will compete across Alberta, Saskatchewan, and for the first time ever, Colorado, USA, with showcase-style action, cross-province rivalries, and a strong commitment to player development. The HSL is the premier destination for families seeking balance and athletes chasing the next level. The Hockey Super League. Hockey without limits. For athletes born in 2013 to 2018. Visit hockeysuperleague.com to learn more.
We had on the
It's the
status.
iconic Jasper Ave Patty Party. That's
Sports 1440, Sports 14.
Jasper Avenue Green.
Your 5-day St. Paddy's Day party kicks off Friday at OTR.
With live entertainment every day.
Including the Feelin' Lucky burlesque show on Sunday.
Plus pipers, Irish dancers, and doors open at 9 a.m. on the 17th.
We got more green beer than Marco has fancy shirts. And trust me, that's a lot.
Lucky the Leprechaun will be there.
Will you?
It's the iconic Jasper Ave Patty Party. That's on the rocks. Next round's on me. Woohoo!
Wow, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at ewell.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. We treat pain and injuries head to toe and some other issues that might surprise you, like incontinence, vertigo, neuropathy, and cognitive issues. We invest in the technology, techniques, skills, and people that know how and what to fix. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
You on a lovely Thursday afternoon. Oilers in Tinseltown tonight to take on the Los Angeles Kings. Both teams allowed 6 goals last night. Both will have different goalies in net tonight. Although Connor Ingram did finish the game last night. He'll start tonight. Darcy Kemper had the night off last night for the Kings. He will go tonight for the Oilers. Oilers come in. Anaheim beat them in regulation, so they're now in second place. Oilers are in third with Seattle, both with 63 points. Seattle's holding down the final. Oh, sorry, Edmonton has 64. Seattle has 63. And LA has 60, but they have 2 games in hand. So this is a pretty important road trip for the Edmonton Oilers. I know it seems like there's a lot of time left. There's not a lot of time left. Right? Like tonight's game 60. You're basically 3/4 of the way through the season. You can't continue to have the type of games that the Oilers. Well, I shouldn't say that. The first 40 minutes, I actually liked lots about the Oilers game. I thought they created a lot. Probably should have had a few more goals. They didn't give up a ton. I thought out of those, I didn't like the first goal, but I didn't like it from Jari. It's not the defensive play I didn't have a big issue with. But then in the third period, your goaltender was brutal. And the game-winning goal, I'm sorry, that can't happen. So we'll see where it goes. Coming up this hour, we will hear from Sam Cosentino. We got Jeff Patterson will be by. We're going to get to the oil report brought to you by Go Auto. Cars, trucks, vans, SUVs, you name it, they got it. Over 15,000 vehicles to choose from at 71 different locations. Shop now, goauto.ca. So the Edmonton Oilers. I think like most of you, you probably, you know what, you have your break, whatever you do at intermission, you're like, okay, the Oilers just scored 2 goals. They kind of got rewarded because they'd been outplaying them, and then they scored 2 goals in the final 2 minutes. You're up 4-2. You got a 2-goal lead going into the third period. That should be shut down, lock them out. Bingo, bango, bongo. We got to win. Start the final stretch of the season on a good note. And winning in Anaheim, guess what? The Ducks have the 5th best home record in the NHL. For 40 minutes, it looked like the Oilers were in a real good spot. And then they allowed 3 goals on 6 shots in the first 6 minutes and change. Jari's out. Now, Matt Savoy actually scored a goal in that time. His first 3-point game, by the way, and that gets overshadowed. Matty Savoy had a hell of a game last night. Penalty killing. Look how many pucks he stripped. Was he Pavel Datsyuk when it comes to stripping the puck? Not any other part of his game. I love Datsyuk. He's unbelievable. But his ability to strip pucks last night, outstanding. Using his speed. He looked great. Great pass to Rosovic. Bangs home a power play goal. I liked lots of things about Savoy's game last night. Really good. And the thing is, through 40 minutes, there was lots of guys. You're like, hey, look at Frederick. That's maybe the most jump he's had. He's had 2 great passes. Mangiapane and Podkolzin got to bury those chances. He had 6 hits last night. He was really moving. And oh, look, in 11 minutes, guys can be impactful. What did I tell you? Everyone's like, oh, they got to play more. No. Make the most of the minutes you get. Lots of guys around the league do it. 11, 12, 13 minutes. There's lots of impactful players in those minutes. So last night, Frederick was an impactful player in his minutes. He was a positive input to the team. It's good. Evan Bouchard, another solid game. Connor McDavid. Oilers had lots of different goal scorers, lots of positives, right? And then the third period, it's just like, it like erases the first 40 minutes. And that's, it shouldn't be that way. You shouldn't be so bad in 20 minutes that it somehow has more of an impact on the first 40. But that's what happened. Tristan Jarry in the third period, brutal. Right? Darnell Nurse is on for 4 goals against. Now, 2 things. The Seneke, the 5th goal, I didn't like that on the goalie. But why is Nurse backing in so far? He's got nowhere to go, Seneke. What are you doing? Right? And if you watch the replay again, Nurse, when he comes up to he pivots the wrong way. So he pivots to the right. Now he has to go all the way back to his left. He can't get there. But still, that's a savable shot every day. There's no reason why that goal should go in. It's not from a dangerous area. It's not even a dangerous spot. It basically went right through him. You can't let that goal in. So, not ideal at all for the Edmonton Oilers. A third period just kind of derails all the goodness that they had in the first. Now, there were times that I thought the Oilers a little rusty in their passing. Like they had some plays where they could have sent guys in all alone and they just missed the pass. And I chalk that up a little bit more to not playing for 3 weeks. Your timing's just slightly off. Okay. But their work ethic and overall Anaheim wasn't creating a ton. in the first 40 minutes, right? I didn't think it was a real, oh goodness, man, the goalie's keeping him in the game. But you would have liked the goalie to keep you in the game in the final period. There's no doubt about that. So, it's just not good. Now, here's an interesting question. Hey, Gregor, how is Nurse minus 14 and Ekholm is plus 19? And now they need to dial Nurse's minutes back. Too many mistakes. Now, here's an interesting stat. Do you know how many goals against at 5-on-5 Darnell Nurse has been on for compared to Matthias Ekholm? Just for fun. You have a guess, Connor Halley? Like, what do you think? Would it be Nurse has been on for 10 more, 15 more, 20 more, 2 more? How many do you think? At 5-on-5 goals against, Nurse has been on for, Ekholm's been on for?
Oh, I'll say between 10 and 15.
1.
Oh.
Nurse has been on for 53 goals against. Ekholm's been on for 52. So is Bouchard. Now, the difference is Nurse isn't on the ice for as many goals for because he doesn't play as many minutes with McDavid. Right? So that's definitely, a factor. Right? That's why I was looking only at goals for, not goals against. Right now, Ekholm and Bouchard's obviously the best offensive defenseman on the team. There's no debate about that. Right? So, but it is wild that Nurse is minus 14 and Ekholm is plus 19. Ekholm at 5-on-5 is plus 8, but their goals against is the same. It's just goals for. He's more. Because if you get to play more minutes with McDavid, usually on the ice for him. Now, Ekholm and Bouchard are a better defense pair. No debate in my mind. But it is interesting if you just look at 5-on-5 and goals against. I think it just hammers home my point. The Oilers need a second pair right defenseman. And you can have Nurse and Wallman battle to see which one's going to play better. Because Jake Wallman isn't lighting it up right now either. To see which one will be your second pair left defenseman. And the other one, make it a competition between the two of them. Who's going to steady their game? Who's going to be more consistent? Who's going to be more engaged? I think competition for ice time is a wonderful thing. You find out which one of your players are competitive and will rise to the occasion when you have the opportunity. Right? So that's to me how we look at it. So the Oilers tonight, like yesterday's game, it's frustrating because you go 3 weeks for Oilers fans and the text line is showing it. We'll get to some more texts. You wait 3 weeks and you're pretty excited, and then it's just, now you're pissed off, and rightfully so. Because there's not much time left in the season, and this is not like it's the first game. It's not like the Oilers played great going into the Olympic break. They don't have a win in February. Today's the 26th. Now, I know they've only played a few games. But the point is, as a fan, you haven't seen a win in almost a month for your hockey team. I know they had a 3-week break, but that doesn't change the fact that sports, what it does, it can really elevate your enjoyment of life. Your team wins, you wake up the next day, you're in a better mood. Right? It just does for lots of people. And not even that, it's not like you go to bed and say, okay, my life is better because they won. No, but you invest time. Some of you invest big money, but you invest a lot of time in it. And so you like enjoyment. You like to see your team win. You're probably feeling pretty good after 40 minutes. And then the third period's brutal. Hey, Gregor, the Oilers have the third hardest strength of schedule in the West from here on out, too, from Juice. Where'd you see that, Juice? I'd be curious because I look at the Oilers schedule and I don't see it being that overly difficult. They obviously got to play some good teams, but like the LA Kings, I was mentioning, like, look at the teams ahead of the Oilers in the standings and who they have to face. So LA and San Jose are behind them. Ottawa's behind them. Carolina and Vegas are Colorado. They got those 4 games. That's their stretch there right after the trade deadline. Carolina, Vegas, Colorado, Dallas. But then they play the Blues, the Preds, the Sharks, the Panthers. They're all below them, right? Utah's below them. Seattle's below them. Ducks are 1 point ahead of them. They got Vegas 3 times. They actually played Vegas quite well lately. Chicago, San Jose again, Vancouver again. I'd be curious where you saw that they had the third hardest. And like after this stretch of 3 and 4, I think they only have one other game of 3 and 4. They don't have a lot of, I think they only have 2 other back-to-backs. And one of them is when they have 2 days off, then they play back-to-back, and then they have 2 more days off. So I'd be curious where you saw that they have that difficult of a schedule. I don't, I'd be interested to see where that, I'll say who has one of the hardest schedules is Pittsburgh. Oh my God. You look at their March schedule, they play 17 games. They played Carolina 3 times, Vegas twice, Colorado twice, Boston twice, like all playoff teams. I think out of their next 19 games, they only have 3 against non-playoff teams. So that's why the Penguins might be selling off. So 833-401-1440. Hey, Greg, did you have any issue with the refs last night, Scotsman? I thought there was a few calls where I was kind of like, if you were going to call the 1/, and if that's the level that you're going to call, I have no problem with that. If you set the bar in a game and say, okay, this is my level of what I'm going to call as a slash tonight, then everybody knows it. But then the next time you see one, you don't call it. I don't get that. So, yeah, there was definitely, and I can't remember who the player was on, but I think it was in the second period, and it might have been on Hyman. I can't remember, but I thought, geez, that looked like a penalty. But I don't normally get overly caught up in the officiating. I don't think the officiating, trust me, the officiating had nothing to do with Tristan Jarry letting in weak goals. Officiating had nothing to do with Darnell Nurse self-imploding with 75 seconds left. So that's why I can't get too caught up in the refs. That's the Oil Report, brought to you by Go Auto. We'll come back. Sam Cosentino joins us next on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
A pizza from Papa John's is already pretty great, but you know what's even better? 2 pizzas from Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium 1-topping pizza for only $6 when you order any large specialty pizza at regular menu price. Whether you're feeding your family, your team, or yourself, get your next meal from your locally owned and operated Papa John's with a $6 1-top medium when you order any large specialty at regular menu price. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
60 years ago, we started selling trucks as Western GMC Buick. Today, we are Wolf GMC Buick. We're still located on the corner of 184th Street and Stony Plain Road with the same ownership for over 2 decades. Our customers have trusted our family-owned, community-driven business. And for that, we are thankful. If you're looking for a truck or SUV, pop in and one of our seasoned professionals will get you a great deal, hassle-free. Come trust our team at Wolf GMC Buick. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
McValue meals are here. Get the McDs you love for $5 plus tax every day with your choice of a McDouble, junior chicken, or chicken snack wrap with small fries and small fountain drink. All for just $5 plus taxes. Canadian restaurants. Product availability varies. Prices exclude delivery.
Okay, how about you give us your star winger for a bag of pucks?
You gotta be kidding me. No.
What if I throw in some Will Hawk beef jerky?
Yourself a trade.
With Will Hawk Beef Jerky on their side, the Alberta teams definitely have an unfair advantage this trade deadline. Pick up some today and use it for trade leverage in your fantasy league.
No way, man. It's way too good.
Will Hawk Beef Jerky, only available in Leduc. Get yours today because you don't win trades with salad.
Action Electrical Solar Team is now making a play for sustainability and savings. They're specialists in powering up for a greener future.
That's the strategy, designing and installing high-efficiency solar panels. They're helping homes and businesses combat rising utility costs by harnessing the power of the sun.
A smart move for efficiency and the environment. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Shoulder pain. It can make even the simplest things like reaching up, lifting a bag, brushing your teeth, or sleeping frustrating. Rotator cuff strains, impingement, arthritis, they're some of the most common issues we treat every day. I'm Grant Fedoruk, and at Leading Edge Physio, our team brings postgraduate training, evidence-based technology, and just the right amount of humor and humility to help you feel better. Because we never forget the most important part, the gratitude we feel for every patient who allows us the opportunity to care for them. Because life shouldn't hurt. When it does, leadingedgephysio.com.
Ron McLean here. In hockey, we say every shift's a gift. Cam Tate never got one. Cerebral palsy meant a unique path. Husband, dad, grandpa, and for half a century, one of hockey's finest chroniclers. Cam was a spectator in his own radiant life, and he can unlock such a life in you too. CamTateSpeaking.com. That's Cam Tate, T-A-I-T, speaking.com. Be ready, really ready, for your next shift.
Salvi Group is celebrating 50 years of building homes and communities, and we want to share the celebration with you. For a limited time during our 50/50 event, you'll enjoy 50% off select packages. That's special savings, select upgrades, and added value, all designed just for you. Build new or move in sooner at Hillshire. There's never been a better time to call Hillshire home. Celebrate with Salvi Group and enjoy 50 years, 50% off. Visit Hillshire today. Salvi Group, 50 years of craftsmanship, quality, and commitment.
McValue meals are here. Get the McD's you love for $5 plus tax every day with your choice of a McDouble, junior chicken, or chicken snack wrap with small fries and small fountain drink. All for just $5 plus taxes. Canadian restaurants. Product availability varies. Prices exclude delivery.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor, the best place for wine, cocktails, and beers from all over the world. Also, a variety of excellent non-alcoholic options. See more at SherbrookeLiquor.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Three 3:29. Man, what a quick hour and a half of the show. Welcome back. It is the Gregor Show, as always, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the province of PlayAlberta.ca. Sam Cosentino is going to join us here momentarily. Lots to talk in the NHL. Also, of course, Sam does a ton of work on the draft. And it's always interesting how some people just they kind of want to jump on different waves at times when it comes to players, I find. And the guys who do it year round, and they don't really do that, but a lot of other people do. And I find that somewhat entertaining. So we'll probably talk about that with Sam. As well as we go in the room, brought to you by Action Electrical. 53 years the Buntings have been in business. Keep growing, keep expanding. One of the most diversified electrical contractors in the province, and huge sports fans. Average golfers, but big sports fans. ActionElectrical.net. As Sam Cosentino from Sportsnet joins us. Sam, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Jason. How you doing?
Hey, I'm good. I before we get to the NHL, I do want to talk about, and I don't know if it's your first love, but obviously, it might be, because you've done a great job when it comes to draft analysis on the upcoming draft and stuff. And it's interesting on Gavin McKenna, and I found that in the last few years, it's almost like people they try to look for things they don't like in a player to try to disparage him almost. And they're like, oh, this guy, I'm not even sure he's any good anymore because he's not scoring 1.5 or 2 points a game in NCAA. And then lo and behold, what's happened here in the second half? The guys, he's kind of found his ground and he's crushing it. Like, there's not many 18-year-olds, first of all, that were ever in the NCAA. Never mind a guy that young. And I found it interesting as somebody who covers it way closer than I do. What were you seeing when you read some of the comments about him over the last few months?
Yeah, fascinating stuff. So for me, in witnessing it firsthand for a few games at the World Juniors, that's where I was able to take what I've been reading, what I've been watching on video, and then looking at it and saying, okay, what are we looking at here? And the best part about that event is that you have an apples to apples comparison because you're, especially this year, with the number of draft eligible players that were participating in the event. And so I could watch Stenberg, I could watch Pipparainen, I could watch Oliver Savanto, I could watch Keaton Verhoff, all in the same stage with the same pressure and the same kind of thing representing your country. So when I looked at Gavin McKenna, I said, all right, here's something that I'm noticing. When he doesn't have the puck, he's just not competing hard enough to get it back. And when I watch Ivar Stenberg do the same thing, he wants it back. When I watch Viggo Bjork lose the puck or not possessing the puck, he's going hard to repossess it or to get it. And I didn't see that same sort of thing out of Gavin McKenna. The same thing on the backtrack. Puck gets turned over. How interested are you in getting back? Maybe not even to get that puck turned back over to you, but at least to defend. And I saw okay effort, but I saw a lot more effort from the others. And so when I'm looking at those particular parts of the game, your off-puck play, your defense, I'm saying, okay, I see a difference here. Okay. Now, when you're looking at a player like that, and if you sit back and you say, okay, the offense is just too good to overlook, I really don't care what he does when he doesn't have the puck. At that point with where Gavin McKenna was, he didn't overwhelm you with the offense, despite knowing what we saw in Medicine Hat. Well, now you're leveled up. Now you're playing against older, bigger, faster competition, and you're not dominating like you were. So if you're somewhat okay defensively and you're not dominating offensively, well, that detracts from how I look at the entire ranking. And then I look at Stenberg. When the pressure is down in the two most key games for Sweden, he was at his best. They'd won once since 2012 and once ever going back to 1981 before that. And he led them as an underage player to a gold medal in that event. So, there are certain key markers that you can look for. And when it comes to McKenna, you see him now providing that extra offense. Okay, well now, I'm getting it. He's kind of figured it out at the college level. And even if there are some deficiencies defensively, now he's producing at a Fantilli rate or a Celebrini rate, and now you're okay with it.
Yeah. Well, it's funny about you mentioned Celebrini because, people always said, and I don't like it. I hate when people want to use the term generational player when someone's never been in the NHL. I think it's just unfair to the player because it's hard to be generational, and let's not water it down. But people talk about generational for Bedard, and now a few years later, right now today, Celebrini's the better player. And no one ever mentioned it about him. And that's not a knock because it just shows you, A, it's incredibly premature to do it, but also like it's hard. You do this for a living, Sam. You scout him all the time, and you're just like, God, like, man, I didn't see this coming from this guy, right? Like some guys overachieve and some guys underachieve, like because it's 17 and 18-year-olds, and it's not an exact science by any stretch.
Well, for sure. So the one thing I was pretty certain about with Celebrini were the intangibles. The fact that he was going to be a future captain at some point, that he reminded me so much of Sidney Crosby. And so I did not want to put the pressure on him all while. But when I watched Sid at that age, they were similar in stature. They were similar in the way in which they controlled the game. They were very professional in terms of and mature well beyond their years in dealing with the media and dealing with the pressure of being the guy. And so I saw a lot of similarities in Sidney Crosby. And then as he goes on and he goes to the Worlds, and who's working with him? Sidney Crosby. Who's asking him or making sure that Hockey Canada says, hey, you better keep an eye on this guy because I think he's Olympic material. It's Sidney Crosby. So I did not see the point production being at the level that it is, especially this early. But I did see a lot of other things that I liked in his game, enough so to make me feel that he would be a guy that would be with one organization for a long, long time.
Now let's switch to the NHL, and we're 8 days away from trade deadline. Of course, we had the Colorado-Pittsburgh trade the other day, and I think we're going to have some more. I hear people say, "Oh, there's teams they're going to wait over the next few days," and I'm like, okay, if you're 1 or 2 points out, I get it, but you're 6, 8, 9 points out, like. What are we talking about here? Like historically, you're not going to like if you think that the Buffalo Sabres are suddenly slowing down, I don't think you paid attention. They're the second hottest team in the league for 30 games. Like this is kind of now who they are. Maybe not that dominant, but the Buffalo Sabres are pretty good. You're the Toronto Maple Leafs. The way you played last night, you've got to be looking at selling, do you not?
to be honest with you, and I said it in our show, that they should have been looking long before the Olympic break to be selling. There was nothing in their game previous to the break. Yeah, and they won 3 games out west with this is like a team in Edmonton that was already checked out and making its way to the Olympics, and Calgary, okay, whatever. But the way I looked at it was there was nothing that said to me, this screams like a playoff team. And I watched them last night, and so 2 things happened. A, they didn't play like a playoff team, and B, when you're comparing them against the gold standard in the East, there wasn't really a comparison for me. Braden Point hadn't played in 2 weeks. Looks like he hadn't missed a day. Hedman, okay, his minutes were limited, but it's okay because Destus is there and Radish is there, and these guys you've never heard of are going about doing their thing. So I would have very much had a plan in place if I were Brad Treliving before the Olympic break. That game would have told me a lot coming out of it. The desperation by pulling the goalie down 3-0 with 5:40 left told me a lot about what kind of desperation mode they're in. But ultimately, here's the conundrum they're in. You have Keith Pelley coming out saying that we're gonna try and be a contender. That's a difficult thing to do in my opinion. But the conundrum you're in is you have a general manager that are you going to leave the keys with him to do whatever it is that you're going to do, whether it's sell off or add? The biggest problem they have is that pick in the Carlo deal. It's only top 5 protected. So let's say the Maple Leafs go for it and they fall just short and they end up in that 16, 17 picking range. Okay, well, sorry, but that's not your player. And the most god-awful thing that could happen to the Toronto Maple Leafs is if somehow they get a little lottery luck and they end up with the 6th overall pick and the Boston Bruins say, thanks, guys, really appreciate it. So that would be the most catastrophic situation. The way I look at it is sell everything off. Okay, so you're tanking but not tanking. Of course, none of the players are going to tank, but as a general manager, you can impact that by who you move out of your lineup.
Yeah.
And say, let's go and get a top 5 guy here.
Yeah. Well, because that's the best way to get a good player. Obviously, like, hey, they got Marner and Matthews that way. No question. You look at a few teams, the Tampa Bay Lightning are 20 wins, 1 loss, 1 overtime loss in the last 22 games. They've scored 90. They've outscored the opposition by almost 40 goals in that time. Nikita freaking Kucherov has 52 points. He has more points than New Jersey Devils have scored in their last 26 games himself, which is wild. But you know what? And they've been winning, Point's been out, Cirelli's been out, Hedman's been out, McDonough's been out, Cernak's been out. Like Tampa Bay looks really good again.
Yeah, and the thing is, their top guys, Kucherov, Vasilevsky, and Point, all just got a 3-week rest. Thank you very much. So it's like the start of the season for those guys. They were so excited to be out there last night. Kucherov's making plays all kinds on the backhand, forehand, doesn't matter. He's throwing it around in the power play. And Point, he jumps right back in that bumper position in the power play, and he might be the best in the game at that spot. Unbelievable stuff. And Vasilevsky, I mean, other than a little bit of the stupidity at the end there, Gensel hits the post with an empty net from about 30 feet away, and Maple Leafs come back and get 2 on him and in kind of in circuitous fashion. But they're good. They're really good. And I'm not so sure that they're not the class of the league right now, Colorado Avalanche included.
Oh, I agree wholeheartedly. When you look at a team like Detroit, and I hear their rumblings of maybe Tyler Myers. I know last year Dylan Larkin was pretty outspoken that he was mad that they didn't do anything. Now, they're not in the position they are now, but like Myers might be move 1. I think the Detroit Red Wings are a team that might make a big splash.
Really, really interesting. Their time has come, hasn't it? I mean, we've heard enough about all their picks and prospects, and the Sider Raymond, group is ahead of us and is going to lead us into the promised land. And, McClellan gets in there for a half a year, sort of straightens things around, and then he gets a full year at the helm and he's doing his thing. So it is about time that they get moving here. It's too proud a franchise with too many cups and that long playoff string when Kenny Holland was there to not be back in that mode. So I think it's time for Steve Yzerman to take his cautious gloves off and get after it here. And it sounds like they're, at least the Myers move is something. I don't know if it moves the needle a ton. sure it helps with their depth and their, maybe a 5-6 guy, but I think something bigger should be in store there.
Sam, one last one. The Edmonton Oilers. Last night, Tristan Jarry, it hasn't worked out yet for him in his 11 starts. He's got an .864 save percentage. And I know the Oilers can be pretty porous at times defensively. Darnell Nurse is struggling. Like him and Wallman, it's just not working this year. Might have worked in the past. It's not working now. And I think they need a natural right shot defenseman on their second pair. But like, how big of a swing would you take? Because like this year, the Pacific Division, which has actually been one of the best divisions in hockey the last 3 years, they had 4 teams with 100 points. Last year, they had 3 out of 9. This year, it's not. And this year, it's kind of like what the Metro was last year, right?
Yep.
And so if you're the Oilers, because of that, and you know that if you stay in your division, then, you can win 2 rounds before you have to go and face the winner of the Central. Do you take a big swing if you're Stan Bowman? Do you have to because you have 97 and 29?
I think you have to. I don't think you have a choice. I think if you look at the Toronto Maple Leafs and their cupboards are absolutely empty right now. Edmonton's not too far off from that, but I don't think there's any question. In this window, if you're going to entice McDavid to stay longer than what his next contract says, you better be going all out all the time. So whatever it takes, whoever you got to clear out, if there's a guy that you like that you've been set with that sends a message to the room to say, whoa, if we can move this guy, sort of like Rantanen.
Yeah.
I think that shook up things quite drastically in Colorado to say, hey, we're not content here. We know that this is going to be the best thing for the club moving forward. We're not sure if we can get him signed long-term at the money that we want to. Then you got to shake it up. And maybe it's that type of shake up with a player who's a little bit bigger, a little bit more polished experience that might help another team in maybe the Eastern Conference that does that, because keep running the same kind of goaltending situation out, it's not going to work. So is the answer Binnington? I mean, based on what you saw before the Olympic break, you wouldn't even think that would be a possibility. Based on what you saw during the Olympics, you're like, oh, okay. So I think that's kind of the only option right now.
Yeah, I would agree with you. They got to go out there and because, hey, once you get in the playoffs, who knows? Like the Oilers haven't played great defensively at times in the regular season, and the playoffs come and they can play better. Now, the big question will be the goaltending. And, well, the one thing Stuart Skinner proved is, he can have a bad game or two, but he can also then bounce back and be unreal. And we haven't seen that from Jarry, so we'll see if he can do it.
I wonder, Jason, you get Paul Coffey back, and you get Coffey back in a time frame where you get 5 or 6 games under your belt before the trade deadline. And if you see a vast improvement in that short period of time, you feel like it's okay. And that's a move that doesn't cost you anyone off your roster. But if it does have the effect that it did, last year for a certain time frame, then maybe that's the answer. But it also does give Stan Bowman a little time to buy and to sit back and see and wait and get his answer, in this little 4 or 5 game stretch before the trade deadline to say, all right, well, that move worked. It didn't work maybe as well as we thought, or, hey, this thing's great now. We're happy with what we have. So that's going to be a really fascinating dynamic to me, watching this thing with Edmonton here move forward.
Sam, great stuff, buddy. We'll see. Who do you think is for fun? Who's the biggest name that gets moved?
I think Robert Thomas. Ooh. I think we've heard it from Armstrong before. I think that the situation that they're in with turning the reins over to Steen, I think that's sort of the thing there, that he'll have his hands on a move like that with some gravitas, knowing that he's got Armstrong sitting over his shoulder to advise him whether it's the right thing, the wrong thing, you're getting the equal value. So I think it's Robert Thomas, because I think St. Louis needs a shake up there, and I think Thomas has more value than Kyrou, even though they're on very similar contracts. So Thomas is an impact guy for sure. So I think he's the guy.
Yeah. All right. Ooh, I like that one. That'll be juicy. So we shall see what happens. Thanks, man. Have a great day.
Yeah. Take care. Thanks for having me.
There you go. That's Sam Cosentino from Sportsnet. I'm curious who our listeners think. Who's the biggest name you think is going to get moved between now and next Friday? We'll ask Connor Halley. I'll ask you when we return. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. It's the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
And now Action Electrical's testing team is on defense duty. They're the guardians of safety and compliance, a critical part of any lineup.
Precisely. They perform rigorous safety and code compliance testing for commercial operations. Think of them as the referees, ensuring everything is up to standard before disaster strikes.
Their preventative plays are legendary, spotting faults early. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
The Junior Prospects Hockey League's 4th season is underway. The JPHL offers elite athletic and academic opportunities across multiple AAA divisions. With over 55 teams, the JPHL is redefining the family experience by making elite hockey financially accessible. All games are broadcast live on Silent Ice TV, featuring a showcase-style schedule and competitive matchups. Learn why the JPHL is Western Canada's fastest-growing elite hockey development stream at juniorprospectshockeyleague.com.
Getting your vehicle sparkling clean doesn't have to cost a fortune. Take it into Hughes today and pay just loonies a wash.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com.
From the locker room to your radio, Sports 1440 is Edmonton's sports leader. Real talk, big personalities, and your texts. It's interactive. It's fun. It's where Edmonton talks sports. Sports 1440.
Who's that working on the underground utilities over there? All-Star Construction, that's who. What about the street lighting? Yep, All-Star Construction. And the directional drilling, hydrovacking, neighborhood renewal, and telecommunication work? Yep. Since 2009, All-Star Construction has been doing all that and more, shaping and building Edmonton communities for land developers all around Edmonton. That's what All-Star Construction is all about.
Day or night, tasting just so right. You can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle noodle.
Portions of this hour brought to you by EWEL. Get your power play amped up with EWEL, supplying the City of Champions and Alberta with quality electrical gear since 1975. EWEL.ca is your partner in power.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$350. We roll through, man. Busy Thursday. How are you? It's the Gregor Show, as always, presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the province at PlayAlberta.ca. We'll get to lots of texts flying in. Some of you comedians, some of you concerned. It's fair to be concerned about some things in Edmonton. And Greg's, how can you trust the current GM to make the right move when a lot of his big moves have been the wrong move? Steve, it's a good question, Steve. That it's fair. I can understand why Oiler fans have some trepidation that the management team will make the right acquisition. Like, some of their moves have been good. You can't discount that, but so far, the Jari trade does not look good. Now, I will say, I told people for a long time, Stuart Skinner isn't nearly as bad as many people wanted to claim he was. Could he be a little inconsistent at times? Yes, no question. But I'd have to go back and look at, did he have a run? Like, how many solid games has Jari played here? Like Skinner would have 2, 3, sometimes 4, but then like look in the playoffs. I know it got to the point, 2 bad games, even gets healthy scratched. Well, not healthy scratch, just pulled because he sat on the bench. But then he came back and look how he responded. That's the one thing Skinner, I give him credit for. He didn't wilt when challenges came to him. Really, right from the get-go of his career. Would you have liked more consistency from Stuart Skinner? Yes, he'd be the first one to tell you that. But he had long stretches where he's pretty good. And then really good runs in the playoffs. Usually after a tough start, come back in. Like, look at how he finished last year against Vegas and Dallas. It was unreal. And he wasn't bad in the Cup final. So Tristan Jarry, like, you need to see a little fire from him. You can't change how you've played, but you can play better. And I kind of got a chuckle out of Tristan Jarry's post-game quote. After I got to find it, is it because you got to read it correctly, otherwise it doesn't. It kind of loses its appeal because it's so simple and it's kind of like, yeah, thanks, tips, but it also makes sense. If I can do a better job keeping the puck out, I think we'll have a better chance. Like, yeah, it's true, right? Like, it is true. He's simplifying things, but like, I'd like to know when he comes back, like, what did you see on the first goal? Like, how are you getting beat from there? And then on the screen, like, did you lean right and then you couldn't see over the left? Because guys get screened all the time. Goalies know how to look around and screen. It's not like you have a shot sifting in from the point. You're like, oh my God, I've never been screened like this. I don't know how to react to it. And then the Seneke goal, like, come on. Guy comes across the middle, right on the ice. Like, that's a save, I think. That one was, well, plus the time of the game. That was a real big one. So we'll see. 833-401-1440. We asked big names that you think would get moved. Guys, I think it's William Nylander. His bad attitude, flipping off camera, maybe goes to a contender from John. Ooh. Well, you look at the Maple Leafs, and they're kind of in a pickle here. So they traded Mitch Marner, and remember, a lot of their fans wanted Mitch Marner traded. But usually when you trade the best player, it's hard to even come even in the trade. Sometimes it does. Usually it's kind of down the road, like Joe Nieuwendyk for Jerome McGinley. Worked out for Dallas, worked out long-term for Calgary. No question. But rarely do you trade the best player and come out ahead better. So they got rid of Mitch Marner, and now they're struggling. If you get rid of Willie Nylander, you better be getting an offensive player in return. Not, now Roy's different because obviously he was a pen in UFA. So I don't know, man. I'd be leery if I'm them. Like, you got to improve their. I think Morgan Riley's the guy I'm trading. And that's why I said it off the top of the show. Now, who do you think is better, Morgan Riley or Darnell Nurse? Now, talk to a fan of the other team. Like, if you're a Leaf fan, talk to an Oilers fan about Nurse and vice versa. I'd be curious on who, like, he's cheaper AAV, yes, in Riley, right? He's like, what, 1.75 cheaper? But I don't know. Maybe a change of scenery helps both. I don't know. But that'd be fascinating to me. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm not reporting that, that's what I'm hearing at all. No, I'm not saying that. I was just asking the question. Guys, I think Riley's better from Nate. Now, Nate, are you an Oilers fan? I'm curious. Because, man, you talk to Leaf fans right now and talk to Leaf fans after last night's game. I think both teams would be like, here, take him. Doesn't matter. Hey, Gregor, do you think the owner is a factor with some of the trades? From Fuzzy. I would really like to think no, but because if you're and Daryl Cates, he's not a scout. He's a fan, right? He's a billionaire fan, but he's a fan. Right? He's not out scouting now. So if I was an owner and if I didn't like the guy who was making the trade, then I get another guy who I trusted his opinion because he knows more about hockey than me. That's who you have to approach as an owner. I think that's why Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys in the last 30 years haven't been good, because he's too involved. He thinks he's a football evaluator. He's not a good one. He can be an evaluator. Any of us can be an evaluator. Are you a good evaluator? And I don't think he is. So unless Daryl Cates is, studying lots of hockey video and tape and, trying to make out scouting, I don't think he qualifies and have the same expertise as some other people. So I'd like to think where the owner gets involved is what comes to money. Are you willing to pay this guy this, right? We might have to take on a guy in the minors for this. That's where he comes in. But on the actual talent stuff, I don't know, right? Like coaching, did Daryl Cates have a say in Paul Coffey coming back? Yes, for sure. But when it comes to player evaluation, I'd really hope not, man. Hey, boys, what about Winnipeg? Who's the big name out of... Well, see, all Winnipeg's big name guys are signed. And Logan Stanley, he's big in stature. And I still think it would be an odd decision for them to trade when they have a smaller defense core overall. And they're going to get rid of their biggest defenseman, who's starting to come into his own and have a really good year. Now, if you've noticed, his goals have tailed off. So if you're Winnipeg, I'd kind of ride it out with Logan Stanley and see what kind of contract I get with him. Hellebuck stayed, Connor stayed, Scheifele stayed, and none of them got massive, huge money. So maybe Logan Stanley stays. And if they traded him, he wouldn't be what I'd consider a big name. Gregor, what about Binnington? You think the Oilers should go after him? Oh, could you imagine? Binnington for Jari. Cap hit's basically the same, $6 million to 5.7. Now, Jari has, I think, one extra year on the deal, but I think because of, Binnington's played in the Four Nations and the Olympics, and he was fine at the Olympics, that his GM probably says, hey, this guy's worth a heck of a lot more. Because of he's won a cup, he's won a Four Nations, he won a silver medal. So I'd be curious, what would be Jari plus what to get Binnington? That's a really good discussion point on what you'd think you'd have to do to make it happen. Hey, Greggs, you're bang on it. Same with Dolan. He needs to get out of the hockey operations from Ranger Nick. Yeah. Does he need to get out, or does their GM need to also get out? I don't Chris Drury's moves don't necessarily reek of success. Now, I don't know how much the owner was involved in them. Maybe the owner was involved in the, I don't know if it was the owner who said, hey, put out that email, tell everybody that we don't want to get rid of our bets. So, I don't know. Hey, Gregor, Parayko's the only guy that could help save Nurse. Hey, man, Colton Parayko's a really smart player. And I think there was lots of Oilers fans who were just mad that Bouchard wasn't there, so trying to pick apart. I think if Colton Parayko played in Edmonton, all of a sudden they'd be like, geez, I kind of like this guy. Yeah, Colton Parayko would be ideal for Edmonton. I'm just not sure how you make the money work. That's the challenge. But God, if you could make it work, oof, I'm a big Parayko fan. Guy just played 18 minutes in the gold medal game and played really well. I would Parayko, if I have Bouchard and Parayko as my top two right defensemen, I'm pretty happy. I got a guy who's very good in the penalty kill, and I got a guy who's very good in the power play. One guy's really offensive on 5-on-5. The other guy's good defensive 5-on-5. I think it would be a great combination of a 1-2 punch as your top two right defenseman. What about you, Cons? Where do you come out on Parayko?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I'd be curious what the price would be and how you make it happen. Obviously, we know the Oilers aren't flushed with their draft picks and got some down the road, but I would think if I'm the Blues, you want as much of an immediate return as possible. So I'd be curious about the package, but the name, 100%. I take that guy on my team any day of the week, twice on Sundays. What he brings, he's got the experience. He's been to a Stanley Cup and won. Yeah, and a guy from the area as well. So for sure, if he was available and the Oilers could make it happen, I'd be on board 100%.
There you go. Let's get to Connor Halley and a sports 1440 update brought to you by Fountain Tire. Maybe looking for some, hey, never too early to think spring tires. Need an oil change? Vehicle repairs? They do it all. FountainTire.com.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Game day Oilers in Los Angeles set to take on the Kings. Puck drop 8:30. Pregame coverage here on Sports 1440 with Andrew Walker, Donovan Paulson, and Landon Ferraro gets going at 7. Elsewhere, you got the Jackets and the Bruins. Canadians host the Islanders. Maple Leafs down in Florida to take on the Panthers. Penguins, Devils, Canes, Lightning, Kraken in St. Louis. Preds up against the Blackhawks, Wild, and Avs, and the Flames in San Jose. In the association, starting at 5, Pacers will host the Hornets, the Heat in Philadelphia, Magic taking on the Rockets, Kings, Mavs, Suns, Lakers, Jazz, Pelicans, and the Clippers will host the Minnesota Timberwolves. PWHL returning tonight, Montreal in New York. That one gets going in just under an hour. In the AJ, you got the Kodiaks hosting Drumheller at 7. The NFL, Colts giving quarterback Anthony Richardson permission to seek a trade. The former 4th overall pick has 1 year left on his rookie contract unless his 5th-year option is exercised. And earlier today, Jets and Titans agreeing to a deal with New York saying pass rusher Jermaine Johnson to the Titans for defensive tackle T'Vondre Sweat. The deal will not be official until March 11th at the start of the league year. Coming up in hour 3, we will ask 5 questions and hear the stat of the day. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440. Stingray Radio Station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
There's a lot of great seasons in Alberta. Hockey season, harvest season, the winter season, and the even more winter season. But GS Construction is already preparing for our next great season because while the city slows down, we plan ahead. Projects, people, and pipelines. Everything starts taking shape for another strong year underground. We're also getting ready for our next hiring season in March. We want new people who want to build something that lasts. For more on us and to apply, visit gsconstruction.ca.
They do it all. Fountain Tire.
Need a new ride for road trips, errands, or just life on the go?
Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X,
new and used vehicles to choose from. With over 70 locations across Western Canada, finding your next ride has never been easier. Whether it's a roomy SUV for the family,
back it is the Gregor Show
for the open road, or a rugged truck for your weekend adventures, you'll find it here at a price you'll love.
As always,
explore thousands of vehicles today at goauto.ca.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at edmontonexpocentre.com today.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
McValue meals are here. Get the McD's you love for $5 plus tax every day with your choice of a McDouble, junior chicken, or chicken snack wrap with small fries and small fountain drink. All for just $5 plus taxes. Canadian restaurants. Product availability varies. Prices exclude delivery.
Bringing every project to life requires the right team. By joining the Japa Machinery Group service or sales teams, you can be part of setting a new industry standard. Celebrating a legacy of excellence with Japa. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Riverside Honda, 59 years and counting, a St. Albert and surrounding areas premier Honda and Can-Am dealer. It's your dream. Write it at riversidehonda.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Just after 4 o'clock. How are you? Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Declan Cougar, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Hope you are having a fantastic Thursday. And as an Oilers fan, your viewing pleasure maybe will last more than 40 minutes tonight. How about that? It was a good 40, but wasn't good after that. It was a rough final 20 minutes. And, man, Oilers fans are fired up. The text line is humming in today. Jeez, we might have set a record for Moke's test in the show so far today. Can't get to all of them, but we'll get to some of them for sure. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. You can always text us. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca, where the Daily Grand. Oh, it's like that white whale, man. You just want to win it. $1,000 a day for the next 20 years. Well, the great part about it is you could just go, no one would even know. Like, you know what? You're not going to go crazy with your money. Probably keeps you in check, but relieves a lot of stress. $1,000. All of a sudden you're making 30 G's a month. You know what? You can do whatever you want. You want to keep working, maybe part-time, maybe just want to be a greeter. Who knows? It'd be fantastic. Imagine having that. It's kind of the freedom to do what you want. That'd be pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. I tell you. Now, let's get to our stat of the day. And, oh, man, we got some doozies for you today. Brought to you by All-Star Construction, founded in 2009. They are shaping and building Edmonton communities, specializing in directional drilling, hydrovacing, and underground utilities for power, gas, and telecommunication. That is All-Star Construction. And so I first off want to start with the stat that I'm telling you, the race for the Art Ross is heating up, as is the race for the Hart Trophy. And a gentleman has put himself right into it because he has been unbelievable for the last few months. Nikita Kucherov now has 94 points. He's 4 back of McDavid. It's going to be a great race for the Art Ross, man. Like, for a long time, it looked like it was just McDavid and McKinnon. McDavid's now 5 up on McKinnon. He's made up a lot of ground. At one point, he was 14 points back. But Kucherov is 20. Kucherov. So, 2 stats here. Number 1, Tampa Bay Lightning, hottest team in the NHL. 20 wins, 1 loss, 1 overtime loss in their last 22 games. 21-1. Ridiculous. In those 22 games, Nikita freaking Kucherov is absolutely killing it. He's got 17 goals in 22 games, 35 assists, and 52 points. He's averaging 2.36 points per game. On the season, there's only 42 other players who even have 52 points the entire year. That's how good of a run he's on. He has 52 points in his last 22 games. How about this? The New Jersey Devils as a team have 50 goals in their last 26 games. Nikita Kucherov has factored in directly in more goals himself than the entire Devils team has played, and the Devils team played 4 more games. I had to get to 27 games before they had more goals than Kucherov. Or points, or more goals than Kucherov had points. It's unbelievable. That's how dominant he's been, and really kind of how lethargic the New Jersey Devils offense. Like, think about it. Jack Hughes has been on that team. Jack Hughes scored that big goal for the Americans, right? It'll be remembered for a long, long time. But he can't really score in New Jersey. They haven't done anything offensively. But Kucherov has been on an absolute heater. And so him and McDavid, I think, and Nathan McKinnon, can't count on him. It is legit a 3-horse race now for the Art Ross. And I'll say this about Kucherov. Today, he would probably be the favorite for the Hart because he is 34 points ahead of his next teammate in points in Tampa. Braden Point, his main guy, he's been out. He's missed 14 of those 22 games, and Kucherov's like, no problem. I'll just reel off 52 points. It's really impressive, man. Really impressive what he's doing. Some other stats for you to chew on. You could see Connor McDavid hit the century mark tonight for the 9th time in his career. 6 consecutive season, which would tie him for second most consecutive years with 100 points at 6. Gretzky holds a record at 13. McDavid would be at 10 based on everything if the 20 season hadn't been shortened, because he had 97 points in 64 games. They had 11 games left in the season. He would have reached it for sure. It's unfortunate. But his 9 100-point seasons, which is inevitable, will put him into 3rd place all alone. He's currently tied with Marcel Dion. He'll go into 3rd place. And next year, he could tie Mario Lemieux for second most at 10. And when you look at McDavid's age, and Gretzky had 15 seasons of 100 points. Now, Gretzky had 15 seasons of 120. Or 15. Out of his 13 consecutive seasons, they all had at least 121 points. And really, his first 12 years were 137 or more. Crazy. But still, I know the game's changed a little bit, but still, Gretzky was a freak. I think we can all agree to that. The young kids, and my son's always amazed when I show him the different numbers, and he kind of now knows how to look up different things, and he's just kind of blown away that you look at best individual seasons. Like, Dad, Gretzky has like all of them in the top 15. Yeah, I know. It's basically him and Lemieux, and then there's Steve Yzerman and Connor McDavid. The top 15 single seasons. Yzerman's 14th with 155 points. McDavid's 15th with 153. And Lemieux and Gretzky have the top 13. Gretzky has 9. Lemieux has 4. So, yeah, Gretzky's it's kind of on another planet. There's no question about it when it comes to offensive numbers. But what McDavid's doing is pretty damn special. 3rd most in the history of the game to be at 100 points 9 times. It's a foregone conclusion he's going to catch Lemieux. And for him to have 6 more, I wouldn't be stunned. Like, look at Sidney Crosby, I think was 35 when he had his last 100-point season. Maybe he was a little bit younger than that. But, Joe Sakic, I think, was 36 when he did it. Yeah, Crosby did in 2019. So a little bit, he was only 30. He was 32. So, but he had 93 and 94. It came damn close a few times. But Joe Sakic was 36. McDavid, next year, I think it's a no-brainer he gets it. Then he'll need 5 more. It'll be hard, make no mistake about it, right? But if he stays healthy, I think it's very much a possibility. So you're looking right now, though, as you watch as an Oilers fan, one of the greatest individual decades of all time, right? Because if you look at it, and you take out Lemieux and Gretzky, and there's no one else who had a decade like McDavid. I'm not including his rookie season. I'm including from 2017 until now, right? Because that's the decade. This is the 10th year. And Connor McDavid has, in 726 games, and the season isn't over, 379 goals, 1,132 points. The next closest player is his teammate, Leon Draisaitl, 976 points. So 56 points behind him. Nathan McKinnon, Nikita Kucherov. Those are the only guys who are within 200 points. Panarin, who's a really skilled player, he's 5th. And he is 280 points behind McDavid in a 10-year span. So basically 28 points a year average. Wild. So, and that's the 5th best score. Now, Kucherov, his points per game is close, but he missed the one whole season. Granted, it was only 56 games, but still, he's, that you give him that 56, now he's up to 700, and it's a lot closer. But it is one of the greatest decades you've ever seen. Like, if you look now Gretzky's obviously his first decade, pretty damn impressive, right? Like, we're never going to see that again. It was wild. I think some people probably forget just how ridiculous it was. His first 10 years in the league, 1,837 points. Like, he'll have like 700 more points than McDavid. Actually, about probably 680. But, Peter Stastny in the 80s, think about it. As great as Gretzky was, if you look in the for Peter Stastny, and I'll go through his because he came in, I think, in 81. Yeah, so Peter Stastny's best decade was 1,059 points. Yari Curry, 1,043. Denny Savard, 1,013. So you had some guys have 1,000. It's really good, right? Mario Lemieux obviously was, and Lemieux was due to injuries that his first decade wasn't even like it was a decade, but it was obviously one with a little bit of an asterisk because he missed games, but he still had 1,200 points in 599 games. He was a 2-point a game guy. So there's those two guys, and then there's Connor McDavid. Right, Connor McDavid needs 20 points to get to 1,200. He's going to be the third fastest player in NHL history to 1,200. So you are seeing one of the greatest decades, one of the greatest players of all time. And I know because there's been some losses in the Stanley Cup final and in the Olympics, even though he scored the overtime winner in Four Nations, pretty big goal. Oh, yeah, but he hasn't won anything. I'm like, well, that was a pretty big game, wasn't it? Best on best, Canada-US. How is the Canada-US team any different than the Canada-US a year later? A few different players, but still best on best. So I look at what McDavid, like how quickly he'll get to 15. And I keep saying that. And I've said this now 2 years ago. Connor McDavid is going to be the second player in NHL history to get to 2,000 points. And we thought for a long time that was never going to be possible. But he will get there. Jagr came close, 1921, but he also played 1,700 games. Like you look at where McDavid is already in scoring. He's closing in on 1,200. McDavid right now is up to 56. He just passed Sergei Fedorov last night. Sergei Fedorov, Hall of Fame player, one of the greatest players. A guy won a Hart, right? He's an elite player. He has 1,179 points. He did it in 1,248 games. McDavid has 1,180, and he did it in 771 games. Think about that. Basically 450 fewer games. The same points as Sergei Fedorov, like an elite player. So McDavid's going to pass Rod Brindamore, Patrick Marleau, Dino Ciccarelli this year. Probably going to pass Vinny Damphousse, even Bernie Nichols. He needs 30 points the rest of the way, which I firmly think he'll be. And then he would pass Nichols. And if he gets 31, he'll pass Bobby Clark and he'll be top 50 all time. And then next year, let's say he gets another 100 points. Now he's going to be in the top 40. And it'll just keep climbing every year. Like it is, he gets into the unique category. And every now and then I think it's good to just kind of have a reminder of what you're seeing. So, hey, Gregor, without Russia, there'd be an asterisk. Why? Does Russia have defensemen, honestly? You think Russia was going to dominate? I'll say this about Russia. Their goaltending, it would be fascinating. Now you got Vasilevsky, you got Sorokin, and you got Shesterkin. Like no one has a better 1-2-3 goalie. But name the 6 right now Russian defensemen that you would say, okay, these are the guys. You know what? Wow, it's going to be it's pretty good blue line. That's where it falls off. They've got a lot of skill. Kucherov, are you kidding me? Right? Kaprizov and others, they'd be great. But if you look at just their defense, that's where I'm not sure. Like Sergachev, yes. Then who are we talking? Like Gavrikov, Provorov, Zub, probably Zadorov. The young kid in Carolina, would Nikishin make it? I'm trying to think. Am I missing any other? There's not a lot of great Russian defensemen. Those guys are good, but I don't know if I don't think they would compete with Canada. I'm not sure they compete with the U.S. They'd be competitive, and in one game, anything can happen because of their goaltending. You're right, but I don't put an asterisk on it. I just can't do it. Don't bomb other countries. You'll get to play. Seems pretty simple. Gregor, what about Romanov? Well, he's hurt right now, so he wouldn't be playing. But, yeah, he'd be in the mix for sure. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back. Jeff Patterson joins us. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Hey, Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpot's Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Day or night, tasting just so right. You can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle noodle.
They're not just a grocery store. They're a butcher, a baker, a cafe, deli, rotisserie pizza, and restaurant, all under one roof. Loca Quality Market does food differently with 2 locations to serve you. Edmonton and Sherwood Park. Visit loca.ca.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
1 in 3 adults don't get enough sleep. The Brick is here to help with deals on your entire bedroom. Save up to 50% off clearance mattresses, 50% off beds when you buy any 3 matching pieces. Buy one, get one half price on Sealy memory foam pillows, and save $100 off any adjustable power base when you buy a mattress over $9.99. Plus, check out other incredible savings in every department. Some exclusions apply. Check out The Brick at South Common, West Edmonton Mall, North Side, and downtown.
Oh man, I've rewatched everything. I think the couch has a permanent dent in it. I've got to get out of here.
Feeling a little cooped up? Break free from cabin fever with a new ride from Nisku Ford. This February, the open road is calling. Answer it in a brand new Ford and get interest rates as low as 0% or rebates up to $8,500. It's the perfect excuse to escape the house and rediscover the joy of driving. Your adventure starts at Nisku Ford. See our inventory today at niskuford.ca. Above expectations.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. The Oilers are back in action, and OTR is ready to be your hockey headquarters. $5.75 Molson Canadian, 69-cent wings, and play score and win every game. See more at OnTheRocksYEG.com.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
$425. Welcome back, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley. Text line is humming today. I love it. Love the passion on the text line. Hey, Gregs, I needed those McDavid stats just to remind me there is still something positive despite that horrible third period last night. It is true. That was a tough third period because the Oilers for 40 minutes, they looked really good. Looked in control, hadn't given up much, had 4 goals. You're right. That's 13 seconds into the game. You get a goal. You have 4 different goal scorers. You're like, hey, they're not just, relying. Matt Savoy outscored Connor McDavid last night. That's how good of a game Matt Savoy had. And McDavid had 2 points. So, there should have been a lot of positive things to talk about today. Trent Frederick and Podkolzin both played really well. That was probably the best passing game we've seen Trent Frederick. He was engaged, 6 hits. If Mangiapane could have hit the broadside of a barn, Frederick probably gets in the score sheet. All right, liked his game. Now he's got to continue it. You can't just say, okay, I played good for one game. Like, he's got to do that now and be noticeable. And, oh, guess what? He got noticed in 11 minutes. Don't give me this garbage. These guys all got to play more minutes, and that's why they're not playing well. I don't buy it for a moment. Just play better. And he did last night, and hopefully it continues. Now they need their goalie to play better. They need their second pair to play better. So we'll see what happens tonight. Will be a different goalie. Connor Ingram will start in goal. Now, let's go around the NHL. Brought to you by McDonald's in the final few days. If you haven't tried it, what are you waiting for? Stop in at McD's. Frank's Red Hot is on the menu on some of their faves. The McChicken, you can mix it in your McNuggets. Even on the breakfast sandwich. Sausage, check it out. Only at McDonald's as Jeff Patterson joins us from Rinkwide in Vancouver. And Jeff, of course, Tyler Myers sat out last night. And it sounds like Detroit is maybe one of the teams. Dallas, another one. What are you expecting for a return for Tyler Myers?
Well, I think if the Canucks could realize a second-round draft choice for a 36-year-old who hasn't played particularly well this season. Now, he's part of the Canucks, and nobody out here has played particularly well, and I do think he's a product of his environment. But I think the reason that the Canucks have taken this offer to Tyler Myers is because maybe it even exceeded their expectations, that if Detroit put a second-rounder on the table, the Canucks were like, hang on a sec, we better have this discussion with Tyler Myers. Just as a little bit of a backstory for people that don't know. I mean, I think people recognize Tyler Myers, big, tall defenseman. He's been around forever. But there's always more to the player that you see. And he and his wife, their oldest child is 8 or 9, had some challenges at birth and has some special needs. And it sounds like one of the reasons the offseason in Kelowna, and, you know, he handpicked Vancouver as a free agent back in 2019. And it sounds like their kid is doing really well in the environment that he's in here. And so it's not as simple as just picking up and moving on. He's got a year left on his deal. This isn't an expiring contract. This isn't a rental situation. So, family first. I totally get that. And I think the Red Wings are being patient here as well and allowing him a little bit of latitude with his time. But it's not as simple as Tyler Myers thinking, now, all this losing in Vancouver, get me out of here. I'm going to go to the only team that is making an offer. So, I don't know if he's being strategic and trying to see if others get in on the mix here to see if there are other options for him. As has been reported, though, it doesn't sound like Detroit is a preferred destination for him at this point. And I would say this about Tyler Myers. And again, in other markets, he may be viewed differently. This guy is as good a pro as you're going to find. He is in a locker room devoid of leadership. He shows up every day. He's just a pleasure to deal with on a media front. And I know that, fans don't really care too much about that, but he's one of those guys who just gets it. He gets it. And I think you could paint a picture that he's the kind of player, even though he's at 36 years old and in decline, could still be a good mentor for young players that the Canucks are trying to bring into the mix here. So I don't think the Canucks are in any hurry to chase him out of town. But again, when you're 32nd in the National Hockey League, I think there are no untouchables. You've already dealt your captain. You've dealt your leading goal scorer in Kiefer Sherwood. They have put up the white flag. They are in a rebuild mode now, and it's not enough to trade Evander Kane and Teddy Bluger and David Kampf. Those are the easy ones. Those guys are all pending unrestricted free agents. The cuts have to run deeper than just those players. And so, again, I think at this stage of his career, a lot of people would have thought, mid-round draft pick for Tyler Myers. My sense is that Detroit stepped up and made an offer that the Canucks are like, no, we have to at least approach the player in his camp here and see if we can't find a way to make this thing happen.
Yeah, so he's pretty much as good as gone, just a matter of where he's going to go. How many players do you believe get moved out of Vancouver over the next 8 days?
Well, they have to. I mean, they just, look, they got skewered last year at the deadline. Remember the whole Brock Besser thing, and ultimately didn't move off him and then turned around and re-signed him. And P.S. Suter was a pending, and they did nothing. And they were a bad team that missed the playoffs last year. They cannot. This management group cannot have a repeat of that kind of trade deadline. or they'll get run out of town. They may get run out of town anywhere just based on the record of the team that they've put on the ice this year. So I think Evander Kane, Teddy Bluger, and David Kampf, you take what you can get from those guys. I mean, you can try and work an angle and see if you can't get a couple of teams in on a bidding war, but you're looking at mid-round picks for them. Then it gets interesting. And obviously Tyler Myers is in the mix right now. Connor Garland's a name that has been out there for a while. No trade protection until his extension kicks in on July 1st. So if there's a taker, the Canucks are free to peddle him, and he doesn't get any say in it. Jake DeBrusk is another one whose name has entered the conversation here, and it sounds like Jake might be willing to entertain, and he's got trade protection. But again, the losing's getting to these guys as they're pros. Nobody's had any fun here this year. They have been dismal. They got 2 wins in their last 20 hockey games. They can't score. They give up a ton. Their special teams are terrible. Any way you slice it, it has just been a disastrous season here. So you can start to understand where guys have said the right things for a while about wanting to turn it around and be part of the solution. And now with 10 days to go or less than that before the trade deadline, reality kicking in. And I think some guys are thinking, you know what? The grass might be greener on the other side. And so maybe I should consider options if the team comes to me. So, it's hard to put a number on how many, but the Cuts have to run deep here. The group they've got isn't good enough. The center ice depth has been horrific all season. And you look at the wingers on this team. DeBrusk has underperformed. Besser has underperformed. Connor Garland has underperformed. These are all guys that need a centerman. And Elias Pettersson has just kind of spun his wheels for 2 years now. And then after that, the Filipino saga that he got hurt in practice here over the Olympic break. This guy just can't catch a break. But, they got Marco Rossi in the Quinn Hughes deal for Minnesota. He got hurt and just returned to the lineup last night as well. They just haven't had centers to help their wingers. And so it goes hand in hand. And when you look at it, this team wasn't good enough to begin with. Then it got hit with injuries, didn't have enough depth to cover. And as a result, they are 32nd with a bullet in the National Hockey League. So they need help. They need help up front. And this is why so many people are on Team Tank now and hoping that this Canucks team wins the draft lottery and for the first time in franchise history gets the first overall pick. It's not a year with a Bedard or a Celebrini, but this team needs elite offensive skill. It's lacking so clearly, so evidently. And the draft will be a help, but the draft isn't going to be the solution. They're going to need a couple of drafts of getting elite talent to start to move this thing in the right direction.
Nobody thought there was an elite player in the draft last year, and look what Matthew Schaefer is. And so no one thought Celebrini would be as good as Bedard, man. I wouldn't sleep yet on Gavin McKenna or a few of the other guys in this draft. There's going to be some good players. His history tells us that. Now, they might not be David good, obviously not. But, the Canucks, what they've done is they've given themselves in a really good spot. They got the best odds, right? They got a 6-point lead in the draft lottery right now. And, by moving guys out, that's a smart decision at this point because it doesn't guarantee you win the lottery, but it guarantees you get the best chance to win the lottery. And at that point, that's all you can ask. What about guys who are staying? Is there anybody in Vancouver where you say, you know what, despite all of this, they're playing pretty well?
Well, in Season of Darkness, a guy like Drew O'Connor, who might be one of the most nondescript players in the National Hockey League, and I ask this with all due respect, you cover this league. If Drew O'Connor walked into your studio today, would you know who he was? Do you know what he looks like? He's just one of those guys, and yet he's had a nice season. He's got 14 goals. He leads the Canucks on their active roster. Kiefer Sherwood had 17 at the time of the trade, so he's still the Canucks leading goal scorer, even though he doesn't play here. And next is Drew O'Connor, who scored his 14th last night. And, Drew O'Connor gives you what he can. He's a big body. He forechecks. He skates well, kills penalties. But we've had this debate, at the end of this season, and I don't care how bad it gets, how dark it gets, the Canucks are going to hand out year-end awards. It's just part of it goes with hockey. And we've asked this question, who's going to be the most exciting Vancouver Canuck on a team that is cemented in 32nd? And a lot of roads track back to a guy like Drew O'Connor. Good for Drew O'Connor, not necessarily great for the big picture of the Vancouver Canucks. So Drew O'Connor's had a nice season. Linus Karlsson, who was a big part of the Abbotsford Calder Cup win last year, got himself an NHL contract extension this year. And he's been all right, although he's gone quiet really since Christmas. And other than that, it is hard to find guys that you would look at and say they've held their own, they've punched above their weight. and it all adds up to this disaster of a season. So it really has been, it's difficult to find guys that you would point to and say, other than Phil Hronek deserves some credit as well. Has played every game. People kind of thought he was Quinn Hughes' caddy, but with Quinn departing in mid-December, Hronek has logged a ton of minutes. He did for Czechia at the Olympics as well. Had 5 points over there. He's been really good for the Vancouver Canucks. So a shout to Philip Hronek, but there's just not enough guys that have been anywhere close to good enough for this hockey club this year.
What's any prognosis on, like, is Demko ever going to play like regular again?
I saw him in the Canucks locker room the other day. It was the first time since the hip surgery that he had just before the Olympic break. He turned 30 in December, so he's on the wrong side of 30 now. And with the position he plays and the types of injuries he's had, I mean, those things compound. And so it's a valid question, and it's one that gets answered. We haven't heard from Thatcher Demko. Talking to the media is not his favorite part of the job, so I'm not surprised. I don't think we'll hear from him until they clean out their lockers 24 games from now. But he was around the team. At least I spotted him yesterday. But he doesn't want to be hurt all the time. I think everybody would understand that part of it. It's unfortunate. He's got a body that has betrayed him, playing a position that is as physical as it is. And it's just been one thing after another. And can he get healthy again? Probably. But can he stay healthy? There's nobody here in Vancouver that thinks that anymore. Like, he doesn't get the benefit of the doubt. It's just been way too many injuries. And if you go back the last 3 or 4 seasons, it essentially amounts to a significant injury every 8 starts. Like, how can you count on that? And yet they committed to him with this 3-year extension last summer when he still had a year left on his existing deal. They could have waited until middle of this season to see if he was healthy, to see how he was playing. And instead they rushed because they weren't going to do anything last July 1st. And I think they felt the PR need to re-sign Demko, re-sign Connor Garland, re-sign Brock Besser, and sort of show the fan base that they had done something on July 1st. It wasn't going into the open market. I mean, I guess Besser hit the open market, but in terms of, getting out there and bolstering this hockey club, they did next to nothing last summer. And so it really did feel like there was a public relations element to getting extension for guys that have been here for a while. And outside of the 1 year where they pushed the Oilers to Game 7, there just hasn't been much winning. This group collectively hasn't done much. And yet management has elected to keep them together. And all these guys now that are pushing their late 20s, or Garland's going to be 30 here at the end of March, and they've all got term. And so this comes back to this idea of, like, this group ain't it. So why keep them together? You can't just push a button and blow your team up entirely. But it does feel like they've got to find a way to get off a couple of these veteran players, particularly up front, that have term and significant term left on their contracts.
Now, one of those guys, the last one for Jeff, is Elias Pettersson, 27 years of age. He got the big ticket. And, people are like, okay, JT Miller. JT Miller is holding him back, and now he's gone. And obviously that's not the case. And I don't know if he's ever going to live up to the contract. It's going to be pretty hard to do. But how is his overall game? Like, if you just eliminate, and we don't know what he's getting paid, right? This is the old school. Just evaluating his play on the ice. How's it been?
Well, in his return from the Olympics last night, didn't have a shot on goal, blocked 7 shots, and you say he's sacrificing his body, blocking 7 shots. They had Teddy Bluger taking on Scheifele in the matchup. Like, it wasn't like Elias Pettersson was going head-to-head with the best Winnipeg Jet, and he's still in a position where he's got to block 7 shots. So, he's spending way too much time in his own zone, and that's not a good sign. His play looks indifferent. His body language is indifferent. He came back from the Olympics. He's done 1 round of media in the week that he's been back. Like, he doesn't get asked for very much here in Vancouver because he's got nothing to say. The actions on the ice don't say a whole lot. And so, he kind of performs at the level of, on the high end, a second-line center who is invested and is willing to block shots and kill some penalties. But just in terms of game-breaking ability, like, that is so far out the window. We're coming up on the 2-year anniversary of the contract extension, and it really has been straight downhill. Like, you can match it up almost to the day that he signed the contract extension. And so, again, it's sort of this game of chicken and egg. Is it the setters that don't have wingers? Is it the wingers that don't have setters out here? For me, it's both the chicken and the egg, and it's not a terribly appealing combination. But, he spent most of the season with Evander Kane, and he won a face-off, and Kane scored last night, but there's just been so little of that combination producing anything, and they've rotated wingers on the right side there. So he hasn't been blessed with the best talent to play with, but I'm in the camp that when you're getting 11-6, you've got to elevate the guys around you. And he's done it in the past, and that player just doesn't seem to be here. The joy of playing hockey, a lot of people thought, okay, getting to the Olympics, throwing on the national team jersey, Four Nations wasn't particularly fruitful for him, but, a year later, he's motivated, or he should be motivated, and then he goes to the Olympics, and he's basically in a third-line role there. He had 2 goals in 1 game. Other than that, was silent, and Sweden bowed out, earlier than they wanted to, obviously, in the tournament. So he wasn't able to make much of a difference for his national team, and he really hasn't been much of a difference maker here for the Vancouver Canucks either. So it's 6 more years beyond this one on this contract. The cap's going up. Maybe the number isn't as onerous as it was at the time that he signed it, but if there is a suggestion that there are suitors out there, like I can't think that there's a team in the National Hockey League that would look at this player in this state right now and think this is what we need to bring into our mix for any sort of playoff push or playoff insurance. Like, and that's the other part is in that, the playoffs 2 years ago, he had 1 goal, right? Like he wasn't a difference maker in the playoffs either. So his only real playoff success was in the bubble. It was his first taste of NHL playoff success. And it was also, the most unique situation that any of those guys is ever going to experience without crowds and all that kind of stuff. So really hard to put a ton of stock into a playoff performance in the most unusual circumstances of our times. But people here are frustrated without a doubt. You're paid to produce, and he just, he hasn't. And, a lot of people doing a lot of body language reading, and they don't like what they see from this guy. So kind of curious to see where it goes, both short and long-term for Elias Pettersson.
I'll say this. I wouldn't be stunned if he gets traded in a few years. Vancouver retains some money because it was only a year ago and everyone's like, Seth Jones is garbage. Seth Jones is brutal. Retained, all of a sudden he's a $7 million defenseman, not a $9.5 million defenseman. Now everybody loves him and he's on I'm not saying Pettersson will do that, but it does, pressure, everything else. It can vary a little bit when you go somewhere else. And I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a team, if they said, hey, we'll take him, but you're retaining some of the salary, like not half, but
right.
Like
I think I'm with you there, but I also think the way you prefaced it is a couple of years. I don't think the Canucks want to be carrying dead money for 6 more years on this contract. And so I think they just live with the fact that this guy is, he might get to 50 points this year. Again, this has been a 100-point player in the National Hockey League not that long ago, and his production essentially cut in half. But I don't think the Canucks are retaining for 6 years on the contract. So I think it is the kind of trade that would happen once the deal gets, past the midway mark, perhaps.
Yeah. Awesome, Jeff. Good stuff, buddy. Fun one. How many Canucks? If I give you how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys get moved between now and Friday?
I hope it's 5. I hope it's the 3, the pending unrestricted free agents, and I hope the cuts go deeper. I think they have to. I think they have to signal to the fan base that the front office hears the frustration and that status quo just isn't good enough. They've got too many guys that are spinning their wheels and not doing enough here. It's time to shake this thing up a little bit beyond just peddling pending unrestricted free agents. So I'm going to go big. I'm going to say 5. I hope that the Canucks are among the more active teams between now and the deadline.
Well, they better be. We'll see. Jeff, great stuff, buddy. Have yourself an awesome day. We'll chat with you again soon.
Always great, Gregor. Thanks.
Betcha that's Jeff Patterson joining us from Rinkwide in Vancouver. And the head of Canucks, Tyler Myers. Evander Kane, I think, is pretty much good as gone as somebody that'll get traded. A few other guys, like if somebody's looking for a penalty kill, 4th line center, maybe can win some faceoffs, and David Camp, I think that's probably why he agreed to that contract there. Go and play. Show the rest of the league that he can still play. Now, Connor Garland's an interesting one to me. He has a new deal, 5-year deal for $6 million that kicks in next year. Like that's a tough one to trade. Kane at the Canucks, I would assume, would retain half. So even at half, he's like a just over 2.5, right? 2.55, I think he is. So, and actually maybe a little bit more, 2.525 or something like that. But, or 5.112, I think it is. But because I think he's 5.125. Yeah. So either way, he'll be, 2.56, I think is what it is. So either way, they got some guys, Tyler Myers on the back end. I think if Derek Forbort was healthy, he's a guy that would get moved. And you know what? I don't think that. I wonder though about goaltending. Like they got $13 million in goaltending next year in Lankinen and Thatcher Demko. Now no one's taking Demko, but they probably have to keep Lankinen because they can't trust Demko. So that's a tough spot. But they're not going to be a cap team, so they probably can afford it. Quick break. We'll come back. 5 questions on the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Free trips, free iPads, a barbecue, a wood stove, the #1 dealer in the world. What? Who cares? How about no pressure, a great deal, finance rates as low as 0%, trade values you can be happy with, and an indoor showroom. And we're pretty good people. Stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
Japa Machinery Group knows that XCMG may not roll off the tongue, but Japa's team will help keep your construction jobs rolling on time and on budget with heavy equipment sales and rentals. Visit japamachinery.com to find out more.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Sometimes you think about what you're going to do in the day. Go to work, pick up the kids from school, make supper. But at GS Construction, we think a little differently. Winter is our season to think, to plan, and to improve. We study, we innovate, we train. So when the thaw comes, we're ready to dig, build, and deliver even better, which means we need people like you. If you're thinking about joining the team at GS Construction, now's the time to do it. To apply and to see how we think, visit gsconstruction.ca.
At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit FountainTire.com today.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
McValue meals are here. Get the McD's you love for $5 plus tax every day with your choice of a McDouble, Junior Chicken, or Chicken Snack Wrap with small fries and small fountain drink. All for just $5 plus taxes. Canadian restaurants. Product availability varies. Prices exclude delivery.
Every goal, every Selly. The place to cheer on your favorite team is Selly's Sports Bar and Lounge. Never a bad seat in the house with all games on tons of big screens. And Selly's menu, top shelf. Plus, check out the game night food and drink features. And don't miss the excitement of Oilers watch parties all season long. Experience Selly's Sports Bar and Lounge at all 3 Century Casino locations, Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile.
Every day is game day at Century Casino.
Hello. You're never going to believe this. Booster Juice called your name today. You can get a free smoothie or acai bowl.
No way. I'm heading there now.
Oh my gosh, you and my brother have the same name. Okay, I'm calling him next. I'm hanging up.
Booster Juice Names of the Day is back. 2 names are selected each day, and if your name matches, you can get a free smoothie or an acai bowl. Watch for your name on the Booster Rewards app and social media. Must be an app member to qualify. Booster Juice. Canadian born, blending since 1999.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. Made in Canada, made for Canada, where extreme isn't theoretical. Find your solution at cantork.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Four 52. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching the show. You know what I like is just when random, someone just sent me a video of the start of the Four Nations game and the three till, just random out of nowhere. It gets people fired up, and you kind of forget. Like, I didn't remember Brandon Hagel after his tilt, and he's going around and he's pumping up the crowd. Like, God, I know exactly where I was for that game. And, you know, there's the opening tilt, and then a few seconds later, there's a second tilt, and it's just like the energy just kept building and building and building. It was awesome. Absolutely awesome. God, hope we see something similar again at the World Cup, man. That would be fantastic. The hockey was great too, and that's what makes hockey awesome, is when you have all the different elements of the emotion that comes with it. Other sports just can't, lacrosse can do it. Not many other sports can offer that side of it. You don't have to like it. That's your choice. But those who like the game, they love that aspect of it. And rarely have I seen people say, you know what? I'm going to turn the TV off here. It's getting too exciting for me. I don't like it. It's too emotional. So it's good times. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Let's get to the con man. And 5 questions brought to you by our good friends at The Brick, where you want to sleep better. The Brick's here to help. Not only sleep better, you can get deals in your entire bedroom. 50% off clearance mattresses. You can get 50% off of beds when you buy 3 or more matching pieces at The Brick and thebrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, Jason, question number 1. We're not even going to talk about yesterday's game. Let's move into tonight's game. Who's winning and who will get the game-winning goal?
Go ahead.
Well, call me crazy. I'm going to roll with the Oilers. I'm going to say they do win this one. Minimizing the goals against will be crucial. Can't have 3 goals in the third period from one goalie. Oilers win 5-3. Got to go with the captain. The captain steps up. Connor McDavid with the game winner.
All right. Ooh, I will say, God, usually I could have a good feel about how a game's going to go. Obviously I didn't expect a complete collapse by Edmonton last night. Man, I don't know. Oilers haven't been great in second halves of back-to-back, but what has been good is their power play. So I will say Draisaitl scores in the power play, which, I don't know. For some reason, I think LA's winning tonight. And I see it being an overtime game, man. Like, it's all the Kings do. Overtime 23 times this year, which is tied with Minnesota for most in the NHL. 23 times they've been to OT this year. Crazy. They only have 14 regulation wins. They're like the third worst team at home. So maybe the Oilers should win. But I don't know. Until they show me a game they can limit goals, I don't have a lot of faith in them to win right now.
Who's getting the winner then for the Kings?
Oh, for the Kings, then I guess I'll say Panarin.
Question number 2. When do you think the Oilers' first trade will happen with the deadline just over a week away?
Oh, man, sooner the better. But they play tonight, then I'm going to say Sunday.
That's the day I had. Why wait? If you're going to make a deal, do it. You kind of get it done the sooner.
Well, plus if you do it Sunday, you can get them in for a practice. They play Tuesday, then you have a few more practices. So now, obviously, you need the other team to want to deal with you. But you know what? Because who knows? Like, it's not like the player they're going to acquire, no one else is trying to acquire, right? So that's why it's challenging. You can't just say, "Why go out and get Connor Murphy?" I think there might be other teams who want to get Connor Murphy too. So That's why sometimes I might delay it.
Question number 3. In a perfect world, what's Max Scherzer's usage with the Blue Jays this season?
I'll say he's like their number 5/6 starter, Cons. But I won't be shocked if it got I won't be shocked if we see him have come out of the bullpen one time for like a middle relief or 4 or 5 innings here or there, depending on how it goes. Because like I saw that report saying, hey, how's it going to go the rotation? And it's going to based on who's pitching very well. Now he's an ultra competitive guy. And, he's got some significant bonuses for innings pitched. So I think he's going to want to hit them. But I'll say he starts like 18 games.
Just looking up his approximate career earnings, $393 to $395 million he's made in a very long career, right?
Oh, wow.
So I'm curious how much the bonuses will mean.
Yeah.
A 1 year, $3 million contract. I mean, I
agree with you. I don't think it's the bonuses that mean it. It's just the fact that he's pitching.
Yeah, and pride for sure.
Yeah.
That's what keeps you going, right? Chance to win. I kind of want to see him as the player coach role. I love Scherzer. I think what he brings to this team is awesome. The intensity for some of the younger guys too, like Freddie Savage, to see what to do to be a pro day in, day out. I think Scherzer is going to be kind of the epitome of that. So like you say, spot duty, get a start here wherever he can help out. But I'm just glad the Jays brought him back. I love the signing. Question number 4 for you. The Colts open to an Anthony Richardson trade if they can find a suitor. Where do you think it'd be a good landing spot for the former 4th overall pick who still is just 23 years old?
Man, if I'm Anthony Richardson, I look around and say, where can I go that I'm just going to help learn the nuances of the position? Especially when you see the success of other high draft picks recently who maybe, and hey, look at people in Cleveland like, hey, maybe we should have kept Baker Mayfield, right? Jets fans like, oh, geez, maybe we should have kept Darnold. Well, I don't know if it would have worked there. Just at the time, the teams weren't very good. You don't have the patience. So if you're Anthony Richardson, like, where I would say, I don't think they'd have any interest. But if I was him, I'd want to go to KC and learn behind Patrick Mahomes. I don't think that his contract's probably going to limit him a little bit, right? For certain teams, right? The Chiefs aren't going to pay that much for a backup.
It's only 1 year though.
Yeah, but they just redid Mahomes to free up all the cap space, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't think they're freeing it up to get him. Like I think, you know what, Cons? You're right about that. It's 1 year. I could see him when the contract's over going to KC.
For me, a couple of spots come to mind. The Minnesota Vikings. JJ McCarthy went down last year. There's going to be questions about his health.
Yep.
Why not have a guy like that? Learning from Kevin O'Connell. We saw with Daniel Jones for a little bit. Saw with Sam Darnold, of course. So why not go learn from a great scheme like that? The Rams, of course, with McVay. But another one I could say is the Atlanta Falcons. They're going to move on from Kirk Cousins. Michael Penix Jr. Questions about his knees. He's had injuries. And, when is he going to be ready? Let a guy go in there like that. I don't like that one quite as much. Like, I'd love to see him go to a team where he can just sit back and learn, develop as a quarterback. Because, like, you build a quarterback in the lab, but he's the guy you build. Like, perfect size and athletic ability, just a few things he could clean up. But, yeah, I think a spot like that, anywhere he could sit and watch for a few years, probably would be ideal. But we'll see what happens. Final question for you, Gregor. On this day in 1988, Bloodsport with Jean-Claude Van Damme was released. In honor of that, if you had to pick your favorite martial arts movie of all time, what would it be?
Go ahead.
I can't say like I've watched too many of the films of the genre, but growing up, I always loved The Three Ninjas. It was a film series of 3 kids who learned martial arts from their grandfather, Colt, Rocky, and Tum Tum, the names they were given. And there was a few films in the series, so 3 Ninjas for me would be one. Not a typical Jean-Claude Van Damme type, though.
I don't know if I wasn't a huge martial, but I guess I'll go Karate Kid because I wasn't a huge martial arts guy. Like I like it, but I'm gonna go Karate Kid. Simple. I know that one of the greatest hilarious arguments is how Ralph Macchio was the bad guy. It's kind of comical to me, but yeah, I will go with wax on, wax off.
People think he's the bad guy.
There's a few people. Right, that have How I Met Your Mother, right? His character, that was like a whole bit that they had. So But I've seen other people online. See, he was the bad guy. It wasn't. I'm like, okay, but I always kind of find. I think it was a little bit tongue in cheek, so I kind of found that entertaining.
Sweep the leg.
Oh yeah, buddy, love it. Let's get to the con man and a sports 1440 update brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Fall in love with the Buick for the month of February. Lease a 2026 Envision all-wheel drive with 0 down and bi-weekly payments of $265. And that includes GST. Shop now, northgategm.com.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
It's game day. Oilers down in Los Angeles, set to take on the Kings. Puck drop in this one, set for 8:30. We've got pregame coverage coming your way with Andrew Walker, Donovan Paulson, and Landon Ferraro at 7 o'clock. Elsewhere on the NHL, Sharks and Flames, Wild head to Colorado, Preds host the Blackhawks, with the Flyers and the Rangers. Hurricanes host the Lightning, Devils in Pittsburgh, Canadiens taking on the Islanders, and the Jackets meet the Bruins in the association. Charlotte heading to Indiana, taking on the Pacers, also the Hawks and the Wizards, Spurs in Brooklyn, Magic up against the Rockets, Kings in Dallas, Suns host the Lakers, Clippers taking on the Timberwolves, and the Pelicans in Salt Lake City. In the PWHL, they're returning to action after their Olympic break. Montreal taking on New York in about 5 minutes. In the AJ, Kodiak hosting Drumheller at 7. And from the NFL, the Colts giving quarterback Anthony Richardson Sr. permission to seek a trade. The former 4th overall pick has 1 year left on his rookie contract unless his 5th-year option were picked up. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet and former NHLer, current Kings analyst, Darrell Evans. I'm Connor Halley. It's been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free Radio Player app and listen wherever you go.
Great news for your weekend project. CFI, that's Custom Floors Inc., is now open 6 days a week with Saturday hours from 10 till 2. Get top quality Canadian products from Beaulieu with the convenience you need. For your free estimate, visit CFI at customfloorsinc.ca.
Expand your brand with Fusion Promo Marketing. Fusion is your trusted partner for all things branded merch and apparel. Thousands of products perfect for businesses, sports teams, and corporate events. Fusion with a Z. Promomarketing.ca.
Wow, get ready for a Silly's hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers, Edmonton, is ready for the Power Play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Debt can take over your life. The stress, the constant worry, it can feel like you're drowning. When people come to see me, they're often anxious and feeling hopeless. But when I explain how I can help them get out of debt, those feelings melt away. I'm Parveen Middleton, licensed insolvency trustee at BDO here in Edmonton. I will create a personalized debt relief plan so you can move forward with confidence. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to discover your debt-free future.
Hey, Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpots Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense.
Cantork has turned 25. That's right, 25 years of building tools so good, they practically torque themselves. Hard work and innovation equals problem solved. See our latest designs at cantork.com.
You're listening to The Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Hey, Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpots Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense.
Portions of this hour brought to you by 01 Hockeyology. Keep your game sharp all season long at 01. An advanced skating mill, classes to enhance shooting, stick handling, and more. Sign up today at 01.ca. That's ZERONE.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Just after 5 o'clock. Hey, anybody out there, has that snow squall arrived yet? I know it was supposed to come today. Has anybody out there involved in the squall? Let us know. 833-401-1440. It is the Thursday edition of the Gregor Show, as always, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, where, of course, if you missed it, you might want to check out the Jason Gregor Show odds boost. For today, of course, involves some Oilers and Kings, and then a little Red Wings and Lightning, both underdogs. The red-hot Tampa Bay Lightning are underdogs. Now, they're playing Carolina. I get it. But, man, that is I don't mind those odds. So I check that out at PlayAlberta.ca. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley with you. Oilers are in Los Angeles to take on the LA Kings. Tonight, Connor, Ingram is starting to go. We haven't seen any player move announcement, so obviously they haven't recalled anybody. So Janmark is going to be good to go, or they're going to go 11-6. So that's kind of where we're at, unless it's going to be a late player announcement that he's being recalled, and then they just bring him on the ice. But that would be a little odd. Usually, I think you have to make it by 3 o'clock. If I'm not mistaken, maybe somebody who knows every page of the CBA, I think you have to have the player announcement by 3 o'clock Edmonton time. So that's what I thought. We'll see. Let's get to the spec report brought to you by GS Construction, your underground infrastructure specialists who are hiring. We got lots of job opportunities for you, and not just a job, but a career. Looking for a great career, great company who love sports. They love real good teamwork. Go to gsconstruction.ca and look up careers. As Mark Spector joins us as Spec, are you strolling down the beach right now or what?
I'm sitting at one of my favorite little pubs right off of Venice Beach Pier, Jason.
Been
coming here for a long time. It's a nice little surf bar. I'm in the shade. Got a cold beer going. I'll admit it to you.
Oh, yeah.
Watching the people walk by. Got a nice little quiet seat where I'm not bothering anybody with blabbing on the radio. So life's pretty good right now, brother.
Buddy, nothing wrong with that. Hopefully, it sounds like it started well. Hopefully, it ends better than the Oilers. Man, for 40 minutes, people were like, God, the Oilers are playing pretty well here. They've had that game in control. And, outside of the first goal, there wasn't a lot of things to complain about. And then the third period came, and oh, my goodness, it was a gong show.
Yeah, it was really disappointing. They were coming out of their break with an excellent effort. Like the things we worry about, with the Oilers, support scoring, right? Well, they got a ton of support scoring last night. Roslovic was unbelievably good. Obviously, Matt Savoy had 3 points. He was fantastic. I thought Ekholm was very, very good in the game last night. They got 4 goals after 2. You got a 2-goal lead on the road going into the third period. Like, life's pretty good here. Yeah, that first goal was awful. I mean, the guy who scored it scored 2 goals in his life in the NHL, and he blew a puck over Jerry's shoulder. It's a brutal goal.
Yep.
So instead of 4-2, it's 4-1. But whatever, it's 4-2. That's fine. And then implosion, led by the goalie. It was an implosion in the third period. The whole team just blew up. Looked like they never won a series in their life, that team, didn't they?
Oh, well, your goaltender, I can get, you want to have some player coverage. I didn't like some of the coverage from some guys, on Gauthier but that's the winning goal on Ingram. But for Tristan Jarry, like the first goal Spec, I was like, I watched that again. I'm like, he's shooting from the ditch it's not like it's Bouchard, for goodness sakes.
It's some guy.
Yeah.
Moore. What was his name? Moore?
Yeah. Honestly, it'd be like Ty Emberson ripping one by good for him, but that's not a goal he should let in. And then I didn't like the 5th goal. I didn't love how Nurse played it either, but I didn't like the shot. Like, to me, that's a shot that should be savable all the time. I didn't like the point shot through a screen. Like, that's not even a hard screen. Like,
Zellweger.
Yeah. I thought Jarry, the fact that the coach pulled him in a 5-5 game with 13 minutes to go tells you what he thought of his performance, because that does not happen very often.
No, that was a real statement of a guy that just said, I've had enough. I can't watch this anymore. That's exactly what that was. every coach lets his guy finish or just says, you know what, I'm not putting my backup in with 14 minutes to play. But that's how bad it is. Listen, like we see how the coach uses Mangiapane. I don't need to ask Chris Knobloch what he thinks of Mangiapane. I just watch the way he uses them, right? He can't stand the player. He doesn't want the player. He doesn't like the player. He sees no use for the player. And that's why when he plays, he the odd game he starts like on a third or second line, and by the second period, he's down again the fourth line. Last night, fourth line. So my point is this. I don't need to ask the coach what he thinks of Jari and what he thought of Jari last night. His actions tell me what he thinks of him. He's had enough of watching bad goaltending in this town, and he's sick and tired of it. He can't win. He can't keep his job. He can't win games. He can't make playoffs. He can't do anything with goaltending like that, and he's had enough of it. And last night was a real statement by Chris Knobloch. This is a problem here, and I'm sick of it.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Like, Jari's just got to flat out be better. It's just that simple. And I know, like, your team, you can't expect your team to be perfect. They're going to give up some chances, and some will result in goals. And then you hope that your goalie saves a few more of them. And like, if you score 5 goals again, you should find a way to win the game. Like Matt Savoy was unreal last night for the Oilers. He outscored Connor McDavid, right? 3 points for him, 2 for McDavid. But not even that. He's stripping pucks all over. He was excellent on the penalty kill. He's really quick. I really enjoyed it. I thought he had a really strong game. Maybe his best game as an NHLer. Not just the points, but just, being involved, in the game so much. And
he was great.
They wasted. Like, I thought Trent Frederick and Trent Frederick's that was his best passing game as an Oiler last night. He was engaged. He was hitting. He was skating. And guess what? He did it in 11 minutes. It's amazing what you can do when you decide to put it, get noticed, play well in 11 minutes. You can do it.
Yeah, no, I thought that's another positive, and I tweeted about that after the first period. The line, Podkolzin, and on one side of it.
Well, we lost Speck, so I'll have to get him back. The beach, run out of his phone there. Maybe someone came over, threw a beer at him. We'll see. So find out what happened there. He's back with us. There he goes. Yeah, there you go.
Sorry. So those two guys were just another example of something that went right. And a lot of things went right for Edmonton, and we are talking about them right now, but we're going to forget about them quick, because what really matters here is you lose a game 6-5 and you waste 2 points. You should have had at least one of them.
Yeah. Like, that's the thing. You don't even get a point. You give up a goal late on a play. Like, that unforced error on
my God.
Like, I didn't like Nurse's game at all, really, overall, but that one just was the exclamation point, Spec. And as I was watching him and Wallman battle it out, like, it just my view on a second pair right defenseman only got stronger last night.
Yeah, I mean, pretty soon, like, you know what, let's give these guys a couple games. Like, this is going to go one way or another, Jay. Let's look at the glass being half full. A lot of positive things happened last night that we liked. And if all those things win the day and the other side of this thing settles out, we're going to look at this team and say, okay, they'll win some games. Let's build them up. Maybe they got a shot. If it goes the other way, if they don't find goaltending, if Nurse's game continues to go south, and it's been brutal from the first game to now, if things don't go their way, the conversation is going to be, what are we doing going out and spending a bunch of stuff on another defenseman? What are we doing going into the market as a buyer and spending draft capital and stuff? This team is not a team worth spending that on. We're going to be having that conversation at some point here, aren't we?
You know what? I don't think so. The Pacific Division, and once you get to the playoffs, anything can happen. And the Oilers have some guys who have shown they can elevate their game in the postseason. When you got 29 and 97 Spec, you have no choice. You have to make moves to go in. I don't think they could sit here and sell off or anything. No chance. You got to make some moves because, like, hey, guess what? Last year is the Metro. This year it's the Pacific. There's no dominant team. Vegas isn't that dominant of a team, right? So you get into the playoffs, and as long as you're second or third, you don't have to go to the Central till the third round. And by then, maybe somebody's hurt. Maybe your team's found its groove. Maybe your goalie's actually making saves. No, I think the Oilers have to make they're in a window to win every year with McDavid here. So you have to do something.
Well, that's fair. But, stuff's got to get, some things have to right themselves around here before I'm going to look at this team and say that they have I guess they can always put it together and come out of this division. But I'll tell you what, the way I'm looking at them right now, I don't love them. And I haven't loved them much since before the Christmas break. And they better start proving themselves here. They got about 25 games to show people that they're a contending hockey team. Because right now they sure – I mean, Jason, they can't keep it below 4 every night.
No.
Like they're giving up 4 a night.
Yeah.
And that teams that give up 4 a night in the regular season, they last about – what does Daryl Sutter say? It's 8 wasted days come playoff time.
Yeah. Well, I just, the difference is, because they're not facing Colorado, I guess, unless they're in the wild card spot. But if they're facing Seattle or Anaheim or LA in the first round, I would still think Edmonton's a favorite, right? Like, and as long as you're not a wild card spot, I think Edmonton's a favorite in the first round still, despite even how they end. Because Anaheim plays run and gun, and I love it, Spec, but they give up goals out, and they got a young defense core. And, Joel Quenneville, smart coach, second coach every 1,000. You know what? They're playing like a team that knows we can't win low scoring, so let's try to run and gun, and it's been working for them.
Yeah, for sure it does. And that's okay. Like, they'll sort things out there. They're a year away from being a contender. I hope for their sake they make the playoffs this year. They're a lot of fun to watch. They got a lot of great young players. They're gonna be a real bear here in the next year or two for sure. I would say to you that the Oilers, who haven't won a cup yet, better get going here, because there's a couple teams coming in the Pacific. They're going to make it awful tough for them.
Yeah. Mark Spector joins us, Sports 40. Hearing anything on Janmark?
No, there was nothing after the game on Janmark, the old I don't know. So let's see today. They did not skate today, so I've got a Chris Knobloch availability at like 6 o'clock Pacific here, or 6:15. And we will ask about Janmark. I saw him after the game walk by just like a regular guy walking by. Didn't limp, didn't walk slow, didn't look like he was hurt in any way, but obviously he was hurt because he played 2 minutes and I think 20 seconds, and we never saw him after the first period.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's weird. But they haven't recalled anybody, and I thought it would have had to happen by 3 o'clock if my memory's correct. So they're either going to go 11-6 or Janmark's going to play. Those are the only two options.
Yeah, assuming Kapanen can't play, yes.
Although I guess the only one different, you're right with Kapanen, although the coach did say that he thought he wasn't going to play the first two. I guess because Regula is on a conditioning stint and is on the roster, maybe they can just announce that one later. I don't know about that one because he's technically on the roster.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Listen, whatever. That we're talking about a fourth line winger in Janmark.
Yeah.
We'll figure that out, but they got a lot of other things to figure out before we're too worried about Matthias Janmark, I would say.
No, that is very, very true. Now, what about the Kings, Spec? They lose last night. They give up 6 as well, and they had a lead, and then they blew it. Almost mirror image of Edmonton, to be honest. And now, they're still sitting on the outside. Right, like Edmonton at least can say we're in the playoffs, at least for now. But this is a big game for the Oilers. You win the game, you're 6 points up on the Kings. You lose the game, you're 2 up, and they got 2 games in hand. Like you give them a lot of life. Like I know it's only game 60, but this is a fairly big game, I think, for both teams. Like I'm curious to see how either side responds, and it's either going to be both come out flying or both come out passive.
Well, the Kings lose last night to a Vegas team that sat everybody, right? Like they sat Marner, they sat Hanifin, they sat Eichel, and they sat somebody else big who was eluding me.
Yeah, well, there's two. They have Hanifin, Stone,
Theodore. They sat Theodore.
Yeah,
Stone, right? So they sat like 5 Olympian players, and they still won in LA.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if that version of Vegas walks in your building and scores, would they score last night 5 or 6? I mean, oh my God. If that happened in Edmonton, we'd be burning the town down here. So I would suggest that LA's pride's got to kick in tonight. They got to be a pretty tough opponent, and the Oilers are the same. The Oilers, we just went through where they are right now. So this is a couple sort of wounded dogs going at it tonight. Both of them want to get their ship figured out. So I would suspect we got a pretty hard-fought game tonight. These are two. The Oilers lost 4 in a row, man. It's time to put a W down, don't you think?
Yeah. I would, you would think like this is not the time to go on a lengthy losing streak. And I know that it seems weird because you had a 3-week break, but they've lost 4 in a row. Right? You don't, you got to figure it out here. And you're playing a team that when it matters, you beat for fun. So tonight's game kind of matters. So we'll see if they can beat the Kings again tonight. Speck, enjoy the beach, put on some sunscreen, and we'll chat with you tomorrow.
All right, thanks, Jake.
There you go. That's Mark Spector, the Spector Board, brought to you by GS Construction. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. When we come back, Daryl Evans will join us. The Oilers are frustrated. The fans are frustrated. What about the Kings after blowing that lead against Vegas without 5 of their best players? How'd that go over? We'll discuss it next with Daryl Evans on the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Planning your next event? Let Loca Quality Market cater. From made-to-order meals to gourmet platters to full chef tasting experiences, they make entertaining effortless. Visit loca.ca to start planning today.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Free trips, free iPads, a barbecue, a wood stove, the #1 dealer in the world. What? Who cares? How about no pressure, a great deal, finance rates as low as 0%, great values you can be happy with, and an indoor showroom. And we're pretty good people. Stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
Performance by Action Electrical today. Their projects team kicks things off, designing and building with unmatched skill.
Then the service team swoops in for those crucial repairs and maintenance. And don't forget the testing team, ensuring everything's safe and sound before the solar team scores with sustainable energy.
A complete team effort. Have Action Electrical bring home a win for you and your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
McValue meals are here. Get the McD's you love for $5 plus tax every day with your choice of a McDouble, Junior Chicken, or Chicken Snack Wrap with small fries and small fountain drink. All for just $5 plus taxes. At Canadian restaurants, product availability varies. Prices exclude delivery.
Hot coffee, hotter takes, and the sports stories that matter. Check out Kevin Carriers weekday mornings from 7 to 11 on Edmonton's sports leader, Sports 1440. Be part of the conversation. 833-401-1440.
Who's that working on the underground utilities over there? All-Star Construction, that's who. What about the street lighting? Yep, All-Star Construction. And directional drilling, hydrovacking, neighborhood renewal, and telecommunication work? Yep. And yep. Since 2009, All-Star Construction has been doing all that and more, shaping and building Edmonton communities for land developers all around Edmonton. That's what All-Star Construction is all about.
Struggling to find skilled workers? What if you could fill your talent pipeline with motivated, pre-vetted youth and receive funding to support your efforts? At Careers the Next Generation, we connect Alberta employers with interns in skilled trades, IT, agriculture, forestry, and more. All WCB covered, high school accredited, safety trained, and ready to contribute from day one. With 83% of RAP students continuing their apprenticeships after high school, investing in youth today means securing your workforce for tomorrow. Don't wait. Visit careersnextgen.ca to get started.
I'm Rick Showers from No Bull RV, and I am a used RV salesman. But just because I love being a used RV salesman doesn't mean you would like doing my job all day long.
If you're selling your RV privately, that means that you have to be an RV salesman too.
That's right, Bob, and there's a lot of work involved. You have to find the customers, be ready to show it at a time and place that's convenient for the other guy. All the stuff you take for granted when you come to No Bull.
There's not a lot of glamour in being a used RV salesman, Rick.
I don't do it for the glamour, Bob. I love helping people enjoy the great outdoors on their terms. It's my life's work, but it doesn't have to be yours. When you sell your quality used RV with us, we take care of everything. Cleaning, repairs, commercials like this one to bring people in, and besides, I like being a used RV salesman a lot more than you do.
And that's No Bull.
NoBullRV.ca. Get the lowdown with Low Tide. Weekdays from noon to 2 on Sports 1440. He's seen it all and then some. From stats to stories, he breaks it down like no one else. Proud to be Edmonton sports leader. Sports 1440.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Papa John's is making you 2 or more items for only $9.99 each from their Papa Pairings menu. Enjoy a medium one-topping pizza, boneless wings, cheese sticks, and more. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.526 game day, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. As always, we very much appreciate it. The Oilers are in Los Angeles tonight. Take on the Kings. Both of them got back in action last night. Both of them had leads, and then both of them blew it. And each team gave up 6 goals. The Oilers lose 6-5 to the Ducks. The Kings lose 6-4 to Vegas. So I guess the only difference was LA was at home. Edmonton was on the road, but neither one would be enamored, I think, with how last night played out, especially, and maybe LA even more, because Vegas was sitting out 5 of their best players, 5 of their Olympians, the Americans and the Canadians. Eichel, Marner, Theodore taking a night off. Jack Eichel, Noah Hannafin, like some pretty big players not in the lineup. So to touch on that and more, we get to our big guest of the day, brought to you by the Silent Ice Center, state-of-the-art facility in Nisku. It features 2 seats of ice, including a 600-seat arena, restaurant, viewing area, and more. Check it out. It's a great place to watch hockey, man, or concert. It's a Silent Ice Center. As a former NHLer, longtime analyst, one of the best-dressed guys in the National Hockey League, Daryl Evans, joins us once again. Daryl, welcome back to the show, my man. How you doing?
Great, guys. How you doing today? Great to be back at the game again.
Yeah, it is good. Yeah, the Kings probably, like the Oilers, a little frustrated with and not happy with the outcome. How would you describe what happened last night for the Kings?
It wasn't a pretty game, and that goes right from the get-go. You know, even if you come out with the win, and of course, right now, probably the Oilers and the Kings are in the same boat, saying that a win definitely would have left a different taste in your mouth, but. It wasn't as clean as you'd expect it to be. I mean, it's going to be tough coming back from a long break like that, but it just didn't have the energy. So I think the quicker that you can put that one behind you, the better off you're going to be. And both teams have a chance tonight to come back and redeem themselves. And I expect to see a pretty good game. Kings with 1 win in their last 6 games. The Oilers have lost 3 in a row. These are 2 teams that are trying to get back on track. So there's a lot at stake tonight.
Panarin, I know on the score sheet, made a big impact. How did he look overall, did you feel? Him and Kempe, from the outside, I'm like, God, that could be a dangerous duo.
Yeah, definitely there was some immediate chemistry between those two. Panarin's got great, he's a world-class player. Being a right shot on a power play, he really helps things out there, so he'll quarterback that. Kings only had 1 chance on the man advantage last night. They did score a goal. So that was good to see, a little boost to their confidence in that regard. But he's one of those players that, you put him on the roster, and the opposition, they look differently upon you. He's got the immediate respect and attention from the opposing teams. They're going to play him hard and things like that, but he'll make everybody that he's on the ice with a better player because of the way he sees the game and his ability to be able to pass the puck. He's really good along the boards. He does a great job at getting himself in the right spot, and he makes good passes. So it's going to take some time for him to settle in with everybody. Of course, they don't have the luxury of time right now. Things need to happen, sooner than later. But if any indication last night was what we're going to see, I think was a good step in the right direction for the Kings.
Obviously the Fiala injury is brutal because they were hoping to have Fiala and Panarin. Obviously I know Panarin's a better offensive player, but you're still taking out, one of your best offensive guys. You were hoping to have both. So do you think Ken Holland, are you going to take another big swing, or does he just kind of have to accept that unfortunately Fiala's out and maybe the other move will be minor?
I don't think it'll be minor. I think, Ken, you guys are very familiar with, the way he thinks the game, the way he sees it. He's a great mind of hockey. I think he'll try to make the team the best that he possibly can. And if that means, swinging for the Stars, he'll swing for the Stars if it makes sense. And with regards to, what he has to give going the other way. So I think he'll be aggressive. I think, coming out of the break right now for the first few days, I think, a lot of the teams are, kind of in that in-between position that there's still two teams that aren't decided whether they're buyers or sellers. I think that'll get ironed out, before the deadline. But I expect Ken Holland to add to the existing group that he has in place right now to give him another little bit of a boost and a jolt, especially in the absence of Fiala. Gives him a little bit more cap space, so the freedom to be able to do that. But he'll be constantly looking, and I know that's been the case in talking to him over the last few days since the injury to Fiala. That they'll explore a lot of different things, but it takes two teams to be able to make a deal, and we'll see what he's able to do.
How's Warren Fogel's second year in LA? Obviously, on the score sheet, it doesn't look the same. Is it snake bitten, or is he being a guy who's looked different than last year?
Yeah, it's an unfortunate thing for him. I think you go back to the beginning of the season when Danault was with the Kings. I think he played a big part in where Warren Foegele fit, and when Danault's game wasn't where it needed to be, and then he was distracted, and eventually he ends up getting moved. I think that had an impact on Fogel's game. He still works hard out there and things, and hopefully through the break that he's able to find another level, a gear similar to that he had last year. But hopefully they'll be able to get that sorted out. And I think the Kings will, in a perfect world, if they could, they'd like to add a centerman. We know they're not easy to come by, but I think that'll be something that'll be on Ken Holland's list, will be to look to acquire somebody up the middle, because right now they've got a guy like LaFerriere playing the middle who's not a true centerman, and Byfield's on the wing right now who can go back to the middle, who is a natural centerman. So I think some depth at center would definitely help the Kings in the absence of losing Danault at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about Byfield and playing the wing. Is that just a short-term thing? What do you think happens there?
Well, I just think that, they're just trying a couple of things right now, trying to put the pieces together with Panarin in, Fiala out, how to, best put the Kings lines together. They have the luxury of being home for the first 6 games coming out of the break. So that'll be able to give them some matchups that they're looking for. They've done it in the past. Byfield and Kopitar have played together, and there's chemistry there. I think it takes a little bit of the responsibility off Byfield and allows him to be a little bit more freedom, knowing he's got that security blanket in Kopitar. And yet, when Byfield's been in the middle, we've seen him have some real solid games and some of his best games against, Connor McDavid and the Edmonton Oilers. So we'll see how it plays out. But I expect that's the way they're going to start the game tonight. How it finishes, only God knows, the way it'll play out by the end of the game.
Looking at this season overall for the Kings, it's very odd that, they struggle to win in regulation, Darryl. Like, it's kind of crazy. Like, they played 23 games to overtime. Them in Minnesota lead the league. Any reason why? Like, are the games, like, I guess the games are close, so that's good in one way, but is it just they're missing that extra goal score? Otherwise, these games, they would have won by a goal rather than having to go to overtime so often?
Yeah, there's no doubt that, they need to add some offense to their game. And, that's why they go out and get a guy like Panarin to be a difference maker. They do play a lot of tight games. It's been a DNA of the team for a long time. Defense first. They pride themselves in that part of the game. But I think during the regular season, it's a freer playing style of hockey, and you've got to put some pucks in the net. It takes its toll on you if you're trying to play playoff hockey for 82 games during the year and then have to do it again for 20, 25 games in the postseason. So goals are definitely needed. There's no doubt about that. But the Kings, they find it hard to get timely goals. Like last night, a 2-goal lead against Vegas may have been all that they needed. So they've lost, a lot of tight games. Last night was the first night that they've given up a third period lead. Going into the third period with a lead, they were 15-0 going into the last night's game. They had a 1-goal lead, and then they surrendered 5 goals in the third period. So very uncharacteristic of them from that standpoint. So they need to clean up the defensive part of their game, but they definitely need to score some more goals. And there's a few guys that haven't reached the numbers that they did last year, guys like Trevor Moore, Byfield. They're a little bit behind their pace. Expectations from a couple of the other guys haven't quite been there. And we talked about Fogel's numbers being a little bit off. So they're hoping that with the break here, both the mental and physical rest will kind of, give them a resurgence, and they're able to finish on a strong note and get themselves into postseason play and then start from scratch again.
Daryl, it's always great to catch up with you. I think we got two teams kind of in desperation mode tonight. Two teams that, of course, have a pretty good history the last few years. The Kings will be fired up because they can't stand the Oilers because they beat them 4 years in a row. So it should be a good game. Like they're two hungry teams, and sometimes back to back. The second night, I think, will be a little bit crisper than the first night after a 3-week break.
Yeah, I think so. And again, both teams last night surrendering third period leads. It leaves a bad taste. So I think they're both going to play with a little bit of a burr tonight and know the understanding and importance of this game. And, that old, saying, a 4-point game. And this is definitely one of those that it stands out on the schedule right now. This could be, a pivotal part of, both teams push to, secure a playoff spot or, finishing on top of the other team. So we'll see how it goes, but should be an exciting one for sure.
Awesome. Thanks, Daryl. Appreciate it.
All right, guys. Have a great night. Enjoy the game.
There you go. That is Daryl Evans. We'll come back. We got our final segment. Then we've got, of course, the pregame show is coming up later on. Walker and Paulson. It's Gregor, Connor Halley, Declan Kruger with you. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. We got loads and loads of texts. We'll get to all those when we return.
McValue meals are here. Get the McD's you love for $5 plus tax every day with your choice of a McDouble, Junior Chicken, or Chicken Snack Wrap with small fries and small fountain drink. All for just $5 plus taxes. Canadian restaurants. Product availability varies. Prices exclude delivery.
Mr. Rooter gets a colonoscopy. All right, Mr. Rooter, just relax. We're almost finished.
Now, what am I looking at on the screen?
That's your large intestine.
Wow, the pipes of the human body. Incredible. This is just like when we use a camera for sewer inspection, except you probably don't find tree roots.
You'd be surprised what we find.
Once I found a bunch of Hot Wheels.
Hey, me too. For a plumber who values healthy pipes, call Mr. Rooter.
1 in 3 adults don't get enough sleep. The Break is here to help with deals on your entire bedroom. Save up to 50% off clearance mattresses, 50% off beds when you buy any 3 matching pieces. Buy one, get one half price on ceiling memory foam pillows, and save $100 off any adjustable power base when you buy a mattress over $9.99. Plus, check out other incredible savings in every department. Some exclusions apply. Check out The Brick in South Common, West Ed Mall, North Side, and downtown.
Invest for today and tomorrow. Vision Credit Union makes it simple with 2 RRSP options to fit your goals. Choose a secure term deposit RRSP with guaranteed returns or a mutual fund RRSP offering higher growth potential with exciting opportunities. With an RRSP, you'll save on your income tax, grow your investments tax-free, and get closer to your dreams, whether it's retirement or your first home. The deadline to qualify for 2025 tax deductions is March 2nd. Learn more at visioncu.ca.
This is the sound of a Toyota Tacoma arriving at the trail with 2 high-performance snowmobiles in tow. And this is the sound of a Tacoma arriving at school with 2 high-energy kids in tow. 2 extremes, 1 Tacoma with a powerful I-Force engine. Now's the time to get yours. It's time to Toyota. Lease a 2026 Tacoma Double Cab SR5 from $115 weekly for 60 months at 6.69% with $6,899 down. Visit shoptoyota.ca or your Prairie Toyota dealer today.
I'm Rick Showers from Noble RV, and if you want your trailer to be ready for May long weekend, the time to make your plan is not in the spring, it's now.
Everyone wants to be ready to hit the great outdoors at the same time, right, Rick?
That's right, Bob, but a little foresight can have your camping plans firmed up while everyone else is putting it off for later. At No Bull, we're building our spring startup schedules now, so it's a good time to get on our list.
And there's only so many RVs you can work on between then and now, right, Rick?
It's a zero-sum game, Bob. We have a finite number of RV techs and service bays. We're working every day from now until the busy season, and there's one thing I'll guarantee. Every spring startup slot for May long weekend will be reserved by April 1st. So if you want to spend Victoria Day in the great outdoors instead of wishing you were in the great outdoors, drop by or give us a call now. You'll thank me later.
And that's Noble.
NobleRV.ca.
Are you overwhelmed by debt and getting nonstop calls from creditors? It can feel like there's no escape. Debt doesn't have to be a life sentence. A single call can turn things around. My name is Parveen Middleton. I'm a licensed insolvency trustee at BDO right here in Edmonton. I can help you become debt-free with a solution just for you. Let's put an end to those calls from creditors together. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to discover your debt-free future.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. We offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. Order today at cantork.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Well, we roll through Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We got a lot of texts. We'll try to fly through some of those. It is the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Hey, do you feel the Oilers are going to see some goals tonight? The Oilers have allowed 40 goals in the last 8 games. Geez, the 6.5 overs. Even though it's a defensive Kings, it seems kind of like, yeah, probably could hit tonight. Might be another 4-3, 5-4 type of game, but that being said, it might be a snooze fest, 1-0. We'll see. God, the Oilers would probably take that right now. Anything to lower the goals against, that would do it. So we'll see. Hey boys, a year ago, a Flame fan suggested Huberdeau for Nurse. What do you think of that from CR? No, he makes $1 million more than Nurse, and he's a winger, not a defenseman. I would be. I don't think that would be a good move for Edmonton at all. So we'll see. Like, hey, Nurse got to play better, but I think Oilers fans would be even more frustrated with Huberdeau if he was in Edmonton. I don't see how that would work at all. So we'll see. Hey guys, what about this? Mangiapane Howard in a 2028 first rounder for Ryan O'Reilly. Nashville retains 50% of the remainder of his contract. Well, I don't know if Nashville, because he has this year and next year, correct? So would Nash do that? We get Howard and you get a first. Ooh, that might entice them, right? You get Ryan O'Reilly at $2.25 million. That's a pretty good cap hit. For me, though, I think Edmonton's bigger need is a second pair right shot defenseman. So, and you know, I would try to get that done first. And then if I feel I need a third line center, there's a third line center that works for me, then I would look at it. That's where I'm at. And so, other people are going to view the third line center, and I totally understand it. Like, you know, I think Ryan O'Reilly could have some bad, but Ryan O'Reilly's older, and she's like a first and Howard. Like, I know you gave that up for Matthias Ekholm, but Matthias Ekholm was also a first pair defenseman. That's a lot to give up for a guy who's going to be a third line center iceman. That's kind of how I view it. I look and say, what assets have I been giving up and how many minutes of time on ice am I getting from that guy in return? Right? That's how I look at it. So, I think that's a lot to give up for a third line center, right? So you kind of have to weigh all those options. So, hey boys, what about Anthony Mantha? Oh, he's had a pretty good year in Pittsburgh this season. He's kind of been one of those. A lot for years, you're like, God, you look at him and everything about Anthony Mantha screams that this guy should be an impact player, right? And he's never, like, he had the 20-goal season. I think early in his career, he had 2 or 3 20-goal seasons. And then he went a stretch, and now he's back. Like, he's having a good year in Pittsburgh. Big body, but again, he's a winger. And, like, does Edmonton, like, I guess what's the cost, right? Like, Edmonton has, Frederick, you've got Savoy, you've got Kapanen, you got Podkolzin, you got Nugent Hopkins, you got Hyman, like, you got Savoy. They got a lot of wingers. So I'd be like, unless you're going to get like a 4th line thumper, who's going to cost you very cheap, and you're going to replace him with Janmark. I'm not sure, unless it was like a true scoring winger, right? And Mantha is having a great year. Like, that guy's on pace for like 28, 29 goals. It's a really good season. But, and maybe he just, it took him a while there in Washington, just kind of never found his footing other than the 1 year. Then he went to Vegas, and it was okay. And Vegas didn't play much in the playoffs for them. Yeah, I don't know if he fits right now for the Oilers. But and Matt, now, hey, Matt was a hell of a scorer. I think he's 2-time 50-goal scorer in junior, great. But he's just a 3. I looked it up. He's a 3-time 20-goal scorer in the NHL. Sorry, 4-time with this year. So 4 times. That's that's pretty solid. But I'm not. I guess if I strike out and everything else, maybe. But I don't think Edmonton's need is a winger. Hey, guys, you think the Predators would entertain a Jari for Saros trade? Well, God, at this point, you got to look at anything. But if you're doing that, like Nashville, he's a little bit younger than Saros. Salary cap isn't crazy different. But if you're taking on UC Saros, like there's a risk in his contract, right? He's till 2033. So, but if you're Edmonton, you probably don't, like, if you're Stan Bowman, you're like, hey, man, I might not be here in 2033 or 2030. So whatever. Do I think Saros is better than Jari today? Without question. And he makes about $2 million more in cap. So, you got to make the cap work and all that stuff. And I guess if you throw in Mangiapane, just make the cap work for this year. And Jari, and then you got to give out some pieces too. Right? Like, you'd have to give up a first for sure. Goalies, though, historically don't get a ton more than that, right? Like, I don't think you'd have to give up Howard and a first. So, because Nashville, like, what direction are they going? That's a really good question. I don't actually mind that, Jordan. That's a good one. Because, like, where are the Preds going, guys? Hey, Con's like, are they going to rip the Band-Aid off and kind of go into a retool? Because, like, I think if they trade Saros, then you're moving Stamkos, you're moving Marshall, you're moving all of them, right?
I would think so. And then reports come out there that Stamkos has a few teams he would say yes to. One of them being a reunion with the Tampa Bay Lightning. They are kind of a fun team to watch here in this process. And, if it happens, watch out, because you could do a fire sale with some of these players.
Oh, like, how much you're going to retain on Stamkos, right? Like, there's lots of things like that. So I would be, I'd be very interested to see what Nashville does. I think they are the team to watch the most heading into the deadline, because they've got some pieces that people would have. I think, Bunting, Halla, they're penning UFAs, Michael McCarron. Like, now, can you trade them all? Yeah, sure. I know a lot of people like Nick Blankenberg, but I'm like, why? Like, I don't know, like, smaller defenseman in your third pair? Like, no thanks. So I don't see how that helps Edmonton at all. But UC Saros, now you're getting my attention, Connor Halley. That would be wild. Now, because a lot of those guys in Nashville, like, when they signed, they all expected, like, hey, we're going to be a competitive team. And they're not out of the race yet, but I'm not sure they're in it, but they're really not out of it. What are they in the walk? Are they 6 points back? Which is still a lot. Don't get me wrong. Like, do I think they're going to make the playoffs? No, I do not. Who are they playing tonight, Cons?
Chicago, I believe.
Playing Chicago. Okay. They're only 4 points out of the playoffs. So, who knows? Maybe, like, if you win 2 in a row, maybe if you're Nashville, you don't do anything. Right? That's because they're not bad enough to plummet down the standings. right? Like they might end up with the 6th or 7th pick, which is still okay. But maybe they'd go for it and say, well, hey, we'll just, take the odds and see if we can win the lottery and move up 10 spots. They might just feel that that's just as possible. So find out where it goes. But the Saros one, I would definitely have a conversation if I'm Stan Bowman. And I'm assuming he's having it anywhere. Hey, boys, do you think there's any chance they bench Nurse? Well, they don't right now. They only got 6 defensemen, right? Unless they're going to bring back up Regula and announce it here right away, which would be odd 2 hours before the game. So now, do you mean bench him for like a period or a few shifts? That could happen. Historically, they don't seem to do it because the thing with Nurse is it's never really a lack of effort; it's execution, right? Like you never say, "Oh, Nurse isn't trying," like he's not working hard, and so. Eventually, like, hey, Leon Draisaitl, if you can sit Leon Draisaitl, granted it was only 6 minutes, but you still did it because he took some penalties. Like, if there's another egregious giveaway, like at some point, yes, I think you have to trade it. And I think that's a fair question. Like at some point, it can't just be acceptable. Oh, you know what? And don't tell me you can't do it because he wears a letter. Draisaitl was wearing a letter last year. Happened to him. So I think at this point, Connor, anything's on the table. You have to look, you have to know the personality of your player by now and find out to say, hey, what's best for the team? And if it keeps happening, I don't think you have any choice. You have to. You can't just keep giving guys every opportunity if they're making an egregious mistake continually.
I agree. I mean, and it hasn't been cleaned up. And correct me if I'm wrong, Gregor, at this point in his career, we'd expect these mistakes to be declining, right? Like, maybe you're not the athlete you once were, but mentally you're seeing things happen a little bit quicker. You're breaking these things down. We talked about the turnover he had on the 6th goal, but on the 5th goal, I really didn't like how he played Seneca. Like, back off. How big is his wingspan when he's got a hockey stick in his hand? Like 10 feet? Like, knock that puck off, step up on him, force the shot a little quicker if you have to. That to me is just kind of a simple play, and it's getting to the point where you're hurting your team. So what do you do? Can you, would that benefit him sitting out? Would it send that message? Perhaps. It's something I would at least consider doing.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to me to see what they do overall as a team, from trades to player usage. Right, like I thought Matthias Janmark's a guy who's going to see his minutes reduced. Just because at some point you can't live on your playoff success and then do nothing in the regular season. You just can't. At some point you got to do something in the regular season. Now we'll see if he's even playing tonight, but I haven't heard anything that the Oilers haven't made a move, so it's either going to be him or Kapanen. Maybe Kapanen's speedy recovery. I'd hope so because he's a better player right now. Coming up, pregame show, 7 o'clock, Walker and Paulson. On behalf of Jason, on behalf of Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, I'm Jason Gregor. Have yourselves a lovely Thursday evening. Enjoy the game. Hopefully it's not as stressful or as annoying as last night was for you. Let's get to the Con Man Sports 1440 update brought to you by Loca. Hey, you know what? You're tired? You don't want to cook? Well, they got great chef-prepared quality meals. You can go pick it up in store, Sherwood Park or West End, or even better, order it, meals.loca.ca. They'll deliver right to your door. Good night.
The Sports 1440 update.
It is game day. Oilers looking to bounce back from last night's losses there in Los Angeles, taking on the Kings. Puck drop 8:30. Pregame coverage coming your way at 7 with Andrew Walker, Donovan Paulson, and former NHLer Landon Ferraro. 50 night in the NHL after 20 minutes. Jackets and Bruins tied at 1 apiece. The Canadians up on the Islanders 1-0. Sens also lead 1-0 over the Red Wings. Not great start for the Maple Leafs. They show the Panthers 3-0, and the Penguins have a 1-0 lead over the Devils. Down in Carolina, Hurricanes up on the Lightning 3-2. Later tonight, Rangers host the Flyers, Kraken taking on the Blues, Preds and Blackhawks, Avs host the Wild, and the Flames taking on the San Jose Sharks. In the association, Good news for the Oklahoma City Thunder as Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has been cleared to return. He'll be ready tomorrow night when they take on the Nuggets. He's been out since January 21st with an abdominal strain as well as a sprained ankle. Game's underway right now. Second quarter, Hornets up on the Pacers 51-40. Sixers, they lead the Heat 54-45, and the Wizards trail the Hawks 22-18 in the first. Later tonight, Trailblazers taking on the Bulls. Mavs host the Kings. Lakers up against the Suns. Got the Jazz and the Pelicans, and the Timberwolves in LA taking on the Clippers. In the PWHL, Montreal leads New York 3-0. Reef Glenn not playing in this one. For Montreal in the AJ at 7, Kodiak's taking on Trent Heller. And some news from the NFL is the Colts have given quarterback Anthony Richardson Sr. permission to seek a trade. The former fourth overall pick has 1 year left on his rookie contract, plus the fifth-year option if it is exercised. That's going to do it for us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Up next, we've got an hour of Fox Sports Radio before pregame coverage with Andrew Walker. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a